The pink-haired female erupts in fury, her voice piercing the air as she vehemently declares, 3 million? Scammer, this shop of yours is definitely a scam. Facing the main protagonist, the pink-haired female continues her indignant rant, asserting that a slime monster shouldn't cost more than 3,000 at most. Don't you know anything about beast taming? The main protagonist responds with a confident smile, countering her accusations by stating, my slime monster is no ordinary creature. With a reassuring gesture towards the small, blue slime, the main protagonist confidently promises, its value truly exceeds its price, and I guarantee your complete satisfaction. Pink-haired female remains unconvinced, her eyes blazing as she argues, it's only at the awakening level. For this price, I could buy a battle pet with bright star potential. A calm, knowing smirk plays on the main protagonist's lips as he concedes, what you said is absolutely correct. The main protagonist's smile widens, a glint of cunning in his eyes as he reveals the true power of his pet, declaring, but this monster of mine is millions of times stronger than those at the bright star level. He gestures towards a shimmering holographic projection of the slime, explaining, this slime monster is a mutant that possesses the Devour talent. If provided with sufficient resources, it can break through levels without limits. Forget the bright star level, it can even reach the level of Grey Kings. The pink-haired female remains skeptical, her expression challenging as she demands, and by what right should I believe you? The main protagonist simply offers a confident smile, inviting her to try it out and you will see for yourself. Meanwhile, a lingering thought questions, is it possible that the young master of the Liu family has resorted to scams and fraud? Suddenly, a new presence enters the shop, marked by the elegant stride of high heels, drawing the attention of both the main protagonist and the pink-haired female. The blonde female with black top, with a condescending smirk, delivers a cutting remark, my apologies, I forgot that you've been expelled from the Liu family. Main protagonist's expression hardens with surprise and irritation as he recognizes her, demanding, Bai Yue, what are you doing here? The blonde female with black top gestures dismissively, her tone dripping with mockery as she explains, I came to check on my ex-boyfriend, who doesn't even possess a beast-taming talent. The pink-haired female gasps in disbelief, pointing as she questions, opening a pet shop while lacking talent? The main protagonist calmly retorts to the pink-haired female, that doesn't hinder my sale of battle pets. Meanwhile, the blonde female with black top's voice cuts in from off-panel, advising, Liu Yu, a person like you with no talent, now that I've used you, it's better for you to be content with being an ordinary and peaceful person. Blonde female with black top maintains her smug smile, reiterating her condescending advice to the main protagonist, urging him to accept his ordinary and peaceful fate. The pink-haired female's expression shifts to one of disgust, a thought bubble appearing as she muses, wow, isn't this the typical female villainous character that always appears in animations? I never imagined they actually existed in reality. The main protagonist, unperturbed, offers a reassuring smile to the pink-haired female, advising her, some souls are lowly and malicious, pay them no mind. The tension escalates as the blonde female with black top angrily retorts, you scammer, you have the nerve to criticize me. Simultaneously, the pink-haired female points decisively, declaring, enough, I'll test the slime monster to find out whether this shop manager is deceiving me or not. The pink-haired female holds up a shimmering, silver-quality gem, challenging the slime, taste this silver-quality meal. Everyone's astonishment, the blue slime monster glows brightly as it instantly absorbs the gem, prompting a surprised exclamation. The slime monster actually absorbed it. The slime pulses with vibrant blue energy, multiple glowing arrows indicating a rapid and powerful level up, a clear sign of its incredible growth. The pink-haired female cradles the now glowing slime, her face alight with awe as she exclaims, its potential really rose from the 5th to the 9th awakening level, and it even comprehended a water-type skill. The blonde female with black top stares in utter disbelief, her face contorted in shock as she cries out, this is impossible. The pink-haired female smirks victoriously at the blonde female with black top, stating, fortunately, I didn't listen to her nonsense. She then turns to the main protagonist, adding, manager, I brought the upgrade meal with me. You can't count that as an extra fee. The main protagonist, with a playful glint in his eye, responds, you're joking. 3 million. Will you be paying by card or cash? With a triumphant smile, the pink-haired female presents her card, declaring, I'll pay by card. Immediately, a system notification flashes. Congratulations to the host. The first battle pet has been sold successfully. The beast taming space has been opened, and you have obtained an SSS rank talent, Dark Hell. System further elaborates. When the host forms a contract with a dark-type battle pet, its attributes will be enhanced. Its potential will rise by 1 level, and he can use the soul link to increase the growth speed of dark battle pets. The main protagonist, meditating, internalizes the profound realization. After all these years, I've finally regained a beast-taming talent. Surrounded by a surge of dark red energy, the main protagonist stands tall, his hand outstretched as he fully embraces his regained beast-taming talent. 12 years ago, a chilling past began to unfold, shifting the narrative to a grand, ancient-looking structure under a dark, cloudy sky. The scene narrows to a dimly lit corridor, where a woman stands with her back turned, her elegant silhouette casting a long shadow against the wall. A young main protagonist, sitting on the cold floor, looks up with a worried expression, questioning the woman's actions. Chuyaki, the wife of the current leader Lu Tianfeng, who took charge of main protagonist's care, turns to him with a chilling smile, retorting that her intentions should be perfectly clear. She mocks main protagonist, revealing that her care was only ever a pretense, entirely dependent on his S-rank dragon-type talent origin. With a cruel touch, Chuyaki shatters main protagonist's world, questioning if he truly believed his parents' death was an accident. Her eyes glow with malevolence as she declares main protagonist's talent will be transferred to her son, ensuring he achieves a dual SS-rank talent and restores the Lu family's glory in dragon taming. Main protagonist screams in agony as his S-rank talent is violently ripped from him, Chuyaki's voice echoing with a chilling pronouncement of his fate. Weakened and helpless, main protagonist lies on the ground as Chuyaki's high-heeled foot presses down, a final act of contempt. With a triumphant sneer, Chuyaki condemns main protagonist to a life of worthlessness, now that his talent origin has been stolen. Back in the present, main protagonist reflects on his past, acknowledging he once believed his life was destined to be spent as a helpless shopkeeper. But a surge of dark red energy surrounds main protagonist as he declares his unwavering resolve to return every bit of humiliation and torture he endured to the Lu family, tit for tat. Inside the shop, the blonde female with black top warns pink-haired female not to be fooled by main protagonist's tricks, her tone dismissive. Main protagonist confronts the blonde female with black top, addressing her as Bai Yue, and coldly states that his patience with her has long since run out. The blonde female with black top, shocked by his directness, threatens main protagonist, vowing to call the police if he dares to touch her. With a confident smirk, main protagonist simply tells her to get out of his shop. Defiantly, the blonde female with black top refuses to leave, challenging main protagonist to produce another mutant monster, stating she will buy it herself. Meanwhile, a system notification appears, reminding him that one battle pet remains for sale this week, promising an SSS rank reward upon mission completion. A holographic female avatar materializes, emphasizing the SSS rank reward and urging main protagonist not to miss this golden opportunity. Main protagonist agrees to the challenge, stating he will give her a chance for the system's sake as a powerful mutated Imperial skeleton manifests, radiating blue energy. However, the mutated Imperial skeleton appears as a small, cartoonish skeleton wearing red boots, looking utterly confused, much to the audience's surprise. Blonde female with black top is enraged, accusing main protagonist, or Luyu, of trying to deceive her with worn-out junk, especially after she has awakened a B-rank taming talent. Main protagonist confidently presents the small jar containing the tiny skeleton, asserting that it is indeed the mutated Imperial skeleton. The blonde female with black top dismisses the creature as a mere low-level undead-type battle pet, scoffing at any claim of Imperial prestige. Main protagonist lets out a confident humph, declaring that the skeleton's talent defies the very laws of nature. Main protagonist reveals the skeleton's true, terrifying potential. As long as it continues to kill without stopping, it can grow without limits, evolving into the great emperor of the undead, with its imposing form glowing fiercely behind him. Blonde female with black top dismisses his claims as nonsense, scoffing that she has never heard of a battle pet that grows without limits. The blonde female with black top angrily confronts pink-haired female, accusing her of being sick for demanding to buy a pet from someone blonde female believes is a liar. Pink-haired female, however, calmly dismisses the blonde female with black top, stating that not everyone possesses keen insight like hers. Furious, the blonde female with black top accuses pink-haired female of being a shill hired for a scam, threatening to call a professional expert immediately to expose them both. The blonde female with black top makes a call, asking manager Yang to come to the battle pet shop near the school's west gate to verify main protagonist's claims. Outside the legendary battle pet shop, a large truck is parked, hinting at the imminent arrival of the expert called to settle the dispute. The pink-haired female cradles her pet, a vibrant blue slime, marveling at its immense 9th-level awakening potential and its unique ability to devour resources for strength. The system confirms the slime's impressive stats, a water attribute currently at 5th awakening level with a staggering 9th awakening potential and the rare talent to devour resources for limitless growth. The pink-haired female announces her arrival to Manager Yang. A confident blonde female with black top observes the scene with a knowing smile, her presence adding to the tension within the shop. The green-haired male with glasses, identified as Manager Yang Chong of the Brilliant Battle Pet Shop, apologizes for his distraction and presents the reserved battle pet, a fiery lizard, to Miss Bai, asking if she wishes to establish the contract. However, the blonde female with black top interjects, drawing his attention to a small skeleton contained within a glass jar. The blonde female with black top proudly declares that the fiery lizard is a truly high-end battle pet, showcasing its impressive aura. Her thoughts betray her excitement, recognizing that the seemingly simple little skeleton is far from an ordinary creature. The determined expression, the green-haired male with glasses activates his data eye, a blue energy surging through his spectacles as binary code cascades around him, ready to analyze the mysterious pet. His data eye reveals the skeleton's true nature, a little skeleton with an undead attribute, currently at 1st awakening level. He realizes its astonishing potential, a special growth-type talent, gaining strength limitlessly through killing, and shockingly, it remains uncontracted. The green-haired male with glasses, captivated by the skeleton's potential, asks if it's for sale, offering any price. The main protagonist, recognizing the man's insight, responds with a slight smirk. The blonde female with black top, clearly exasperated, questions Manager Yang's judgment, asking why a high-tier beast tamer would spend 3 million on a scum battle pet at only the 1st awakening level. Manager Yang defiantly asks if she's questioning the ability of his data eye, proclaiming that the skeleton's limitless growth talent could allow it to become the emperor of the undead. The skeleton in the jar glows faintly, emphasizing his words. The blonde female with black top's eyes widen in shock, questioning if the skeleton is truly a mutated imperial type, a revelation that clearly stuns her. The pink-haired female beams, confidently stating that a handsome manager like him would never be a deceiver, clearly siding with Manager Yang. The blonde female with black top, enraged, snaps at the pink-haired female, calling her a fool for contracting with a scum slime monster. Manager Yang, having just used his data eye, reveals that the pink-haired female's slime monster also possesses a limitless growth talent, predicting it will soon crush tamers of its own level. A stunning visual transformation unfolds as the cute blue slime evolves into a beautiful, ethereal humanoid form, radiating immense water energy, a testament to its latent power. Manager Yang, desperate to acquire the skeleton, bows deeply to the main protagonist, pleading to buy it at any price. The main protagonist, however, calmly states the final price, 3 million. Manager Yang is utterly flabbergasted, exclaiming that 3 million is practically giving the powerful skeleton away for free. Manager Yang Chang gratefully accepts the transaction, promising to remember the main protagonist's favor. The main protagonist, in turn, humbly suggests that Manager Yang is being overly polite. The pink-haired female smiles, while the blonde female with black top glares. The blonde female with black top angrily confronts the main protagonist, accusing him of toying with her and refusing to sell such a wonderful battle pet. The main protagonist retorts, reminding her that she was the one who initially showed them contempt and disdain. Ignoring his words, the blonde female with black top demands he immediately produce another mutated battle pet, her grip tight on his arm, her fury palpable. The main protagonist calmly informs her that his mutated battle pets are sold out and will not be available from now on. Enraged, the blonde female with black top screams, calling him scum, lacking beast-taming talent, and expelled from the Liu family, questioning his right to act with such arrogance. The main protagonist's eyes blaze crimson as a powerful red aura erupts around him. He calmly reveals that he has already completed his 2nd awakening, a statement that carries immense weight. Manager Yang is overwhelmed by the terrifying pressure radiating from the main protagonist, realizing it must be at least a rank. The pink-haired female, and a rank herself, is astonished, realizing the main protagonist's talent must be at least S rank to exert such pressure. The main protagonist acknowledges her sharpness, his internal thoughts revealing he's deliberately downplaying his true SSS rank talent to avoid unwanted attention. Overwhelmed by the main protagonist's unleashed power, the blonde female with black top collapses to her knees, utterly terrified and defeated. How is it possible for his 2nd awakening talent to be an S rank talent too? In the world of beast taming, nothing is impossible. The blonde female with black top glares, her expression hardening with suspicion. Luyu, since you have awakened your talent anew, I'll give you another chance to woo me. What do you think? I'm not interested. Please leave immediately. You cold bastard. Just you wait and see. I apologize to you both. The shop is closing now. The green-haired male with glasses stands opposite the main protagonist and the pink-haired female. Manager brother, I'd like to add your contact info. Me too. Shin Yanyan is a new student at the Beast Taming University. She'll surely bring me many new customers. As for Yangchang, although he's a colleague, he might open a door for cooperation between us. I won't have to worry about coming system missions anymore. Scan my code. Powerful impact strikes the shutter door. Congratulations to the host for completing the beginner mission. Would you like to open the commercial shop immediately? Everyone has finally left. Open it quickly. Why are there only these few? Because these monsters are provided for free. What good can be expected from free things? Replace them with paid ones. Understood. These are the currently paid battle pets. This one is too ugly. It won't do. And this one isn't compatible with my talent. It won't do at all. And this is the host considering the three-headed hellhound with its lethal attack? I don't want it. I was bitten by a dog when I was little. What about these 3 dark battle pets? From the dragon category, I'll exchange for it the demonic dragon of destruction. System, you call this a cub? It's natural for the dragon species to be larger in size. Rest assured, host. Demonic Dragon of Destruction Cub. Attribute Dark Dragon. Level First Awakening Level. Talent Dark Lineage. Capable of absorbing data powers to grow without limits. The demonic dragon can absorb the power of the dragon species. By annihilating dragons, it can seize the opponent's attributes. Its initial potential is at the 10th dominance level. Battle pet potential determines the maximum limit. The 3 strongest people in the Xia state only possess a Great King level battle pet, while my first battle pet nearly touches that level. Mysterious woman in striking blue and black attire asks the main protagonist if he is satisfied. The main protagonist, radiating confidence, declares his satisfaction and readiness to establish the contract. The main protagonist faces a colossal dragon while the pink-haired female oversees the process. She then announces that the contract is established and the host can now channel energy into the battle pet. Hand reaches out, channeling dark power into a swirling vortex. Below, the magnificent dragon roars, its form crackling with energy. The dragon, now fully transformed and radiating power, stands in its awakened form. A message congratulates the host on successfully upgrading the battle pet to the awakening level. The main protagonist questions the system, unable to break through his current level, while a glowing circle emanates energy. Engulfed in flames, the main protagonist extends his hand, seemingly frustrated. Pink-haired female explains that the host's beast taming space cannot accommodate battle pets beyond the awakening level. Meanwhile, the main protagonist realizes he needs to raise his personal power level. As the main protagonist and the pink-haired female float in the air, the main protagonist asks the system if it can shrink the demonic dragon. The system confirms it's possible using mental power. The colossal demonic dragon is shown, its power immense. The main protagonist holds a much smaller, chibi-like dragon, remarking on the convenience. The pink-haired female stands beside him, smiling. A collage of intense character portraits, rendered in shades of purple, hints at a dramatic storyline. A merger announcement for Scanlations, highlighting new releases and community features, is presented with striking visuals. The pink-haired female excitedly tells Ruayun she's back and wants to show off her battle pet, a cute blue slime. A blue-haired woman reacts with alarm, whispering for the slime monster to be hidden and not seen by Chu-Ying. 2 young women, one with dark hair and a yellow top, the other with blonde hair and a blue jacket, descend a staircase. The blonde woman confronts the other, reminding her of a promise not to bring ornamental pets into the room. Scene shifts to show the pink-haired female and the blue-haired woman, with the blonde woman looking on. The pink-haired female vehemently denies that her slime is an ornamental pet, insisting she hasn't broken any rules. The blonde woman questions the main protagonist's intention to contract with a scum slime monster. A system box identifies her as Chu-Ying, level 10 beast tamer with a steel wolf battle pet. The dark-haired woman defends the pink-haired female, stating that Nyenyen wouldn't act foolishly, especially after awakening an A-rank talent. Pink-haired female explains that her slime monster is a mutant capable of devouring resources and growing. Chu-Ying dismisses this, stating that the highest level a slime monster can reach is level 3, questioning the concept of growth. The pink-haired female confidently declares she has already established a contract with the slime, and it's now at the 5th awakening level. One of the dark-haired women advises the pink-haired female not to be a fool, suggesting she's fallen victim to a scam. The pink-haired female, determined, states she will prove them wrong right now, holding her slime companion. Pink-haired female slyly reminds Chu-Ing that the resources used to train her steel wolf exceeded 2 million long ago. Chu-Ing, unfazed, retorts that it doesn't matter, as her steel wolf is now at the 9th awakening level. Surrounded by glowing crystals and energy, the pink-haired female prepares to demonstrate, stating these materials are worth 1,200,000. The cute blue slime creature pulses with an inner light surrounded by shimmering crystals and swirling energy. The girl in the black top scoffs, who doesn't know how to drown monsters in resources. Meanwhile, the girl with pink hair holds a glowing object and the girl with blue hair gasps, how is this possible? The girl in the black top adds, the materials have been completely absorbed. The blue slime writhes, its body swirling with intense energy as it absorbs the surrounding power. The slime creature glows, displaying system notifications. 5th awakening level, 10th awakening level, BREAKTHROUGH. The girl with blue hair looks stunned, her hand covering her mouth in disbelief, while the girl in the black top exclaims, "What?" The girl with pink hair smiles confidently, her eyes gleaming. It's not over yet, keep watching. The blue slime's expression turns fierce, its eyes glowing with determination, and its potential has risen too, reaching at least the bright star level. The girl in the black top stares in shock, her face contorted in disbelief. Impossible. How can a mere lowly slime monster possess bright star level potential? Girl in the black top points accusingly at the girl with pink hair. If you have the nerve, come out and fight me. The girl in the black top, her eyes blazing with anger, shouts, "Steel wolf, show them your might and power." Two fearsome, dark wolves, wreathed in red energy, roar ferociously, their eyes burning with malice. They prepare to attack. Wolf unleashes a powerful crimson water spear, a super-level skill, blasting towards the slime creature with intense blue energy. The girl in the black top stares in horror, her hands outstretched in disbelief. How is this possible? Could it be that my steel wolf has... The girl in the black top is on her knees, defeated. The girl with pink hair, towering over her, stands beside the slime creature. This is the mutant slime monster you look down on. The girl with pink hair, her expression stern, declares, "And since we are roommates, I'll overlook your actions today and won't hold you accountable." The girl with pink hair turns away, her long braid trailing behind her. The girl with blue hair calls out, "Nyen, wait for me. Tell me quickly, where did you buy this slime monster?" The girl with pink hair replies, "Come on, I'll tell you in our room." A quiet street scene bathed in sunlight. Buildings line the road, with parked red trucks and outdoor seating areas visible. A man with striking red hair and a confident stance walks through an open doorway. Since when did a new battle pet shop open here? Red-haired man smiles, looking at a small, dragon-like creature. This battle pet seems to be of a dragon-like species. It would be a wonderful gift for my younger sister. A finger points towards the small dragon-like creature. Manager, how much are you selling this battle pet for? The shop manager, with a sly smile, replies to the man, "I don't lack money, so name the price that satisfies you." Man, with a condescending smirk, states, "I apologize, but this battle pet truly isn't for sale." The shop manager's expression hardens, his eyes narrowing. "You refuse to do this the easy way and insist on taking the hard path, don't you?" The shop manager summons a powerful black-feathered crow, wreathed in dark energy and blue flames, ready to attack. Black-feathered crow, teach him a harsh lesson. The shop manager glares, his expression one of cold disdain. Fool. The small dragon-like creature, now surrounded by an aura of dark, menacing energy, glows with red eyes, ready for battle. Black-feathered crow dives through the air, its dark wings spread wide, surrounded by a powerful aura of black and red energy. The black-feathered crow attacks with a flurry of dark energy and feathers, striking with immense force. The red-haired man coughs violently, blood spraying from his mouth as he clutches his chest in pain. The red-haired man stands, his hand on his chest, a look of shock and disbelief on his face. He defeated my black crow with just a single glance. The red-haired man staggers back, clutching his chest in shock. He defeated my black crow with just a single glance. He stares at the creature, struggling to comprehend how a demonic dragon could possess such a terrifying aura. He gasps, blood trickling from his mouth as the reality of his defeat sinks in. Overcome by panic, he realizes he needs to escape. The protagonist sits nearby, looking entirely unbothered, his hand resting against his cheek as he observes the scene. Scene shifts to the exterior of the hospital, bathed in the calm glow of the afternoon sun. The red-haired man clutches a lengthy medical bill, his face twisting in rage. 5 million in expenses from a single glance? He screams in frustration, demanding to know who dared to provoke him. A well-dressed man steps forward. Identified as Lu Tianyan, the young master of the Lu family, he coldly surveys the red-haired man's outburst. The red-haired man stammers, recognizing the newcomer. "Brother, big brother, what are you doing here?" Lu Tianyan does not mince words, his expression stern as he declares he has come to see who is dragging the Lu family's reputation through the mud. The red-haired man pleads with his brother, his eyes wide with fear. He begs him to stop, warning him that they are in no position to confront this individual. Lu Tianyan scoffs, clearly unimpressed. "Oh, and is there someone the Lu family is incapable of confronting?" The red-haired man whispers, his voice trembling as he explains that the target is a beast tamer who has contracted a demonic dragon. Lu Tianyan's composure shatters. His eyes widen in disbelief as he repeats, "What, a demonic dragon?" Lu Tianyan falls into deep thought, his brow furrowed. He mutters to himself that a beast tamer capable of commanding a demonic dragon has not been seen for many years. Turning to his brother, Lu Tianyan commands him to lead him to this beast tamer immediately. The red-haired man hesitates, still terrified. "Big brother, I am afraid even you are no match for him." Lu Tianyan loses his temper, grabbing his brother by the collar. He snaps at him, insisting that he is only going there to offer an apology. The red-haired man's relief is instantaneous, a foolish smile spreading across his face as he realizes his brother is not looking for a fight. They stand together, discussing the situation. Lu Tianyan notes that since all local beast tamers are under the Lu family's purview, it would be impossible for such a powerful creature to remain hidden. Lu Tianyan narrows his eyes, reaching a conclusion. If the beast tamer is commanding a demonic dragon, they must be right inside this shop. The two brothers arrive at the storefront. Lu Tianyan points toward the entrance, confirming that the beast tamer is inside. The protagonist stands before them, his tone mocking as he asks if they called for help because they couldn't handle the situation themselves. Lu Tianyan does not hesitate. He grabs his brother and forces him forward, demanding he apologize immediately. The red-haired man is forced into a deep bow, shouting an apology while the protagonist watches from the foreground. Lu Tianyan pulls out a small, elegant box. He speaks with practiced politeness, explaining that his brother was blind to offend such an individual and requests mercy. Lu Tianyan opens the box, revealing a glowing blue crystal that radiates intense, magical energy. The system identifies the item as a platinum-grade space-type resource, the sky-controlling crystal. The protagonist's eyes light up with greed and excitement at the sight of the rare upgrade material, curious as to who this man really is. The main protagonist displays a rare material, his grin wide as he dismisses their earlier conflict as a trivial misunderstanding. Main protagonist leans in, his sharp gaze analyzing the aura of the man before him, correctly deducing a recent breakthrough in his beast-taming capabilities. The man acknowledges the insight, confirming he has indeed reached the fire-type star level and unlocked a third slot. Main protagonist gestures toward a cage, claiming a stroke of fate has brought a perfect match for his specific talent. Inside the cage sits a peculiar bird, offered at a surprisingly low price of 3 million. The crimson flame chicken glows with potential, its price tag flashing as a golden opportunity. The man hesitates for a moment before deciding to capitalize on the offer, trusting the judgment of his senior. An associate whispers a warning, concerned that they are spending their funds too recklessly. Main protagonist maintains his composure, calmly questioning if they believe he is intentionally making life difficult for them. The man quickly backpedals, expressing his confusion regarding the true intent behind the purchase of the bird. Main protagonist simply smiles, claiming that he was moved by the man's sincere attitude. The bird ignites with a brilliant aura, revealing its unique ability to refine flames and evolve. Stunned by the revelation, the man's eyes widen in disbelief. He eagerly requests permission to test the creature's power for himself. He summons a cold flame, testing how the bird reacts to the extreme temperature. The man is shocked to find that the bird remains completely unaffected by the freezing fire. The bird absorbs the cold flame, its form shifting as it reacts to the stimulus. A spectral phoenix manifests from the bird, a sign of its immense, hidden power. The man realizes the creature is not a common pet but a future emperor of flames. Overcome with gratitude, the man bows deeply to main protagonist, pledging the loyalty of his entire family. Main protagonist waves off the praise, remaining nonchalant about the gift he just bestowed. The man tentatively asks if main protagonist has any connection to the prestigious Liu family. The mere mention of the Liu family triggers a dark, intense reaction from main protagonist. Main protagonist coldly states that any ties he once had to that family have long since been severed. Observing the tension, the man concludes that there is deep-seated animosity between the two parties. They politely take their leave, exiting the shop and leaving main protagonist to his own devices. Main protagonist shifts his focus to the sky-controlling crystal, ready to harness its power. He enters his beast-taming space, the environment shimmering with digital energy. A massive surge of energy initiates a breakthrough, expanding his domain to 100,000 square meters. Main protagonist stands in the center of his expanded realm, having achieved a luxurious increase in power by consuming the crystal. The demonic dragon of destruction looms large, its presence commanding as it tells main protagonist that the moment for his breakthrough has finally arrived. Surge of raw, explosive power erupts from the demonic dragon of destruction, signaling its overwhelming evolution. System notifications flood the interface. The demonic dragon of destruction has successfully reached the super level, unlocking the formidable dragon-slaying demonic soul skill. The demonic dragon of destruction roars, its newly awakened soul radiating a terrifying, soul-extinguishing pressure. Main protagonist remains calm, tempering the dragon's restless energy with a steady hand. He reassures the creature, promising that it will soon feast upon the essence of real dragons. A display of powerful allies flashes across the screen, showcasing the growing strength of his circle. The quiet exterior of the pet shop stands bathed in the soft morning light. A delivery cart sits waiting outside, marking the beginning of another busy day. Main protagonist checks in with his associates, inquiring about the progress of the slime's recent upgrade. Pink-haired female reports that the slime has hit Awakening Tier 10, with its potential soaring to Bright Star level Tier 9. He giggles, mentioning that green-haired male with glasses has gone to extremes, even closing his shop to focus on nurturing his little skeleton. In the slaughterhouse, the spectral skeleton relentlessly hunts down chickens to fuel its rapid growth. Green-haired male with glasses observes the spectral skeleton, noting its impressive climb to super level Tier 3 in just a few short days. Nearby workers whisper in awe, labeling green-haired male with glasses the living Yama for his sheer efficiency in the slaughterhouse. Green-haired male with glasses announces that today marks his final day of farming chickens. His colleagues express relief, suggesting that such a talented beast tamer shouldn't be wasting his time in a slaughterhouse. With a sharp knife in hand, green-haired male with glasses reveals his next target. He is moving on to slaughter pigs. He proudly displays his new slaughter license, the key to accessing higher-level facilities and more powerful beasts. The facility is teeming with massive beasts, including fierce tigers and wolves, all waiting to be harvested for experience. Green-haired male with glasses laughs, anticipating that both he and the spectral skeleton will soon break through to the Bright Star level. Main protagonist watches the feed, amused yet slightly concerned by the sheer intensity of his associates' methods. Despite the unconventional approach, the spectral skeleton's slaughter talent is undeniable, turning mass quantity into elite quality. Main protagonist muses that at this rate, green-haired male with glasses is on a direct path to becoming a blazing sun-level beast tamer. A notification pings, the spectral skeleton has hit Tier 3 and a new customer has been directed to the shop. Main protagonist smiles, noting that a surge in new customers is exactly what the business needs right now. He taps away on his phone, keeping a close eye on the growing demand. Relaxing in his chair, main protagonist enjoys a drink while his dragon companion rests nearby. He speaks softly to the dragon, promising to expand their space soon so it can continue its rapid evolution. The shop interior is quiet, filled with cages holding various creatures, as the owner stands amidst the space. A visitor enters the scene with his small dragon, remarking that the shop's business seems quite promising. The visitor, identifying himself, scoffs at the shop's humble appearance, doubting it could house anything valuable. The visitor explains he was specifically recommended to visit this shop by an acquaintance, who claimed their battle pets were the best available. The shop owner responds with a modest smile, clarifying that while he wouldn't call them the absolute best, his shop focuses exclusively on high-end battle pets. The visitor bristles at the claim, calling it arrogant for such a small, cramped shop to boast about dealing in high-end goods. The shop owner listens calmly, though his expression suggests he is barely fazed by the visitor's hostility. The visitor demands that the shop owner drop the pretense and reveal these supposed high-end pets to satisfy his curiosity. The shop owner prepares to present his wares to the skeptical visitor. He presents a creature in a cage, casually asking if this one meets the visitor's standards. The shop owner pauses, watching the visitor's reaction as the man stares at the creature in disbelief. The visitor explodes in anger, accusing the shop owner of playing him for a fool by presenting a common creature as a high-end pet. Fuming, the visitor vents his frustration, noting that he had intended to introduce the shop owner to his powerful family if the goods had been impressive. He points a finger, scolding the shop owner for squandering such a valuable networking opportunity. Visitor finishes his rant with a threat, vowing that the shop will be forced to shut down within 3 days. The shop owner frowns, genuinely confused as he repeats the name of the family mentioned. The sound of footsteps approaches, interrupting the tension as someone new enters the shop. A young woman appears, her expression serene and composed. Accompanied by a formal-looking male, she remarks on the atmosphere in the room. The previous visitor pales, recognizing the newcomers as members of an influential family. A look of pure dread crosses the visitor's face as he realizes the significance of their arrival. He realizes his mistake. His own family relies on their support, and he has just insulted someone connected to them. Newcomers walk right past him, completely ignoring his presence. To the visitor's shock, the male newcomer bows deeply to the shop owner, addressing him as senior. The newcomer comments on how young the shop owner appears. The woman looks on with a flushed, bashful expression. The visitor is left reeling, unable to comprehend why the newcomer would call someone so young senior. The newcomer snaps at the visitor, demanding to know who gave him permission to speak in their presence. The visitor collapses to his knees, terrified that he has offended the newcomers and sealed his own fate. The newcomer turns back to the shop owner, politely introducing his younger sister. The pink-haired girl smiles warmly and tells the protagonist to simply call her Jing-Ching. The protagonist responds calmly, maintaining his composure. The protagonist feels a spike of internal anxiety, worrying that his current earnings won't be enough to cover the breakthrough of his pet. Noticing his distress, the young man in the yellow hoodie asks if the protagonist is troubled by a failed sale. The man in the yellow hoodie eagerly asks if the goblin is available for purchase, looking to close the deal. The man in the yellow hoodie and the pink-haired girl wait for the protagonist's decision. Jing-Ching expresses concern, questioning why the protagonist is rushing to purchase a goblin without verifying its specific details. The protagonist dismisses her concern, stating simply that he trusts the senior's judgment. The protagonist clears his throat, preparing to give a detailed introduction to the creature. The protagonist explains that this specific goblin has the unique ability to acquire new aptitudes and strength through reproduction. He adds that as the goblin grows stronger, the probability of producing higher quality offspring increases significantly. The protagonist highlights that by maintaining this cycle, one can rapidly cultivate an incredibly powerful race. Stunned, the man in the yellow hoodie exclaims in shock at the potential of the battle pet. The man in the yellow hoodie urgently pleads with the protagonist to sell the creature exclusively to the Lu family. He claims the power of the 3 great dragon-taming families relies entirely on their access to giant dragon species. He asserts that the goblin's breeding capability matches that of a giant dragon, ensuring the rise of the Lu family. The protagonist remains unbothered, questioning if it truly matters who he sells the creature to. The protagonist notes that the sale requires a beast tamer to immediately contract with the goblin, asking if they have a candidate in mind. Jing-Ching remarks on how bizarre the visual pairing of a beautiful girl and a goblin appears. The man in the yellow hoodie confirms he has a specific candidate in mind for the contract. He reveals his candidate is an illegitimate son of the previous family head, whose mother was executed by the legal wife. He adds that because he gave this person a chance to return to the Lu family, he will never be betrayed. The man in the yellow hoodie suddenly realizes he has revealed information that should have remained secret. He panics, realizing that discussing such sensitive family matters implies a dangerous situation. The man in the yellow hoodie stares in alarm as the protagonist's demeanor shifts menacingly. Confused and disoriented, the man in the yellow hoodie asks why his vision has suddenly gone dark. A stern warning echoes through the air. Today's confrontation is merely a lesson for those who cross the line. Pressure is suffocating. Main protagonist stands before the imposing figure, cold sweat beading on his forehead as the tension reaches a breaking point. With a chilling smile, older man in business suit with glasses issues a final, sharp command. Keep silent and bury any rumors, or suffer the consequences. Terrified, the subordinate immediately raises his hand in a vow of silence, swearing to become a mute to survive the encounter. Main protagonist observes the scene with a calm, analytical gaze, noting that only a desperate, lightning-fast reaction saved the man from a grim fate. Pink-haired female steps forward, her voice laced with frustration as she demands to know why main protagonist is allowing others to claim the goblin, leaving her empty-handed. She pouts, insisting that she deserves a formidable battle pet of her own. Main protagonist simply smiles, assuring her that a superior match is already being prepared. Her eyes light up with pure excitement at the mention of a more powerful companion, her fighting spirit immediately reignited. She turns to main protagonist, her tone shifting to a sweet, hopeful inquiry as she asks if there is a pet perfectly suited for her abilities. The anticipation is written all over her face, waiting for the verdict on her future partner. She proudly declares her A-grade talent Ice Soul and expresses her desire for an ice-type pet that can rival the strength of the Crimson Flame Chicken. Main protagonist nods confidently, confirming that such a request is well within his capabilities to fulfill. Gestures with his hand, manifesting a shimmering blue energy projection as he selects the perfect candidate. Inside a golden cage sits an adorable, glowing ice fox, its presence radiating a gentle, freezing aura. Fascinated, she asks if this creature possesses the rare ability to refine exotic ice, eager to test its potential. Main protagonist confirms its unique trait: it can consume exotic ice to evolve and grow stronger indefinitely. Pink-haired female channels her energy, forming a concentrated ball of frost to put the ice fox to the test. The ice fox eagerly reaches out, its small paws absorbing the energy offered by its potential master. The transformation is immediate. The ice fox's fur shifts, now shimmering with a distinct, brilliant light blue hue. Overjoyed, she declares that the price is irrelevant. She would pay any amount to secure such a gem. Main protagonist maintains his calm, businesslike demeanor, noting the standard price for such a specimen is 3 million. The transaction is finalized instantly. Pink-haired female expresses her deep gratitude to main protagonist for his continued support of her family. Main protagonist waves off the thanks with a casual, friendly gesture, closing out the successful deal. Beside him, a small, dark dragon lets out a fierce roar, showcasing the sheer power main protagonist keeps within his reach. Suddenly, main protagonist senses something amiss, his attention shifting toward the entrance of the shop. Outside the shop, a strange, swirling energy begins to manifest, signaling an unexpected arrival. Main protagonist narrows his eyes, detecting the unmistakable, well-hidden aura of a giant dragon. A knowing smirk crosses his face as he realizes the Liu family has finally decided to stop sitting on the sidelines. A crimson dragon rests peacefully in the sunlit garden, unaware of the schemes brewing in the shadows. The woman in the elegant cheongsam sips her tea, her gaze cold as she summons her subordinate. She makes her intentions clear. She is still obsessed with keeping a close watch on Liu. Her greed knows no bounds as she demands the recovery of the hidden wealth belonging to his parents. The teacup clatters sharply against the saucer, a silent testament to her growing frustration at the lack of progress. The subordinate kneels, ready to deliver the update she has been waiting for. He reveals the shocking truth. Liu has reawakened his beast-taming talent and secured a pact with a black dragon. The news hits her like a physical blow, sending her into an immediate, explosive rage. She refuses to believe it, insisting that his talent was long since stripped away. A dark, menacing aura surrounds her as she passes a death sentence on Liu. Subordinate bows his head in submission, accepting the order to eliminate the target. Meanwhile, main protagonist receives a system notification. A milestone has been reached by selling 5 battle pet cubs. The reward is nothing short of legendary, a random SSS rank beast-taming talent. Main protagonist stares at the interface, the prompt waiting for his confirmation to claim the prize. A grin spreads across his face as he contemplates the sheer impossibility of obtaining a second SSS rank talent. Without hesitation, he presses the button to claim his destiny. The system confirms the awakening of the god-slaying Skyfire, an SSS rank power that surges around him in purple flames. Nearby, the customers in the shop are caught in the wake of this sudden, overwhelming power. The man in the suit is visibly shaken, realizing the master has acquired a terrifying new fire elemental ability. He knows that even an S-rank talent could never project such a massive, suffocating pressure. Main protagonist stands amidst the violet inferno, questioning why the customer has collapsed in fear. The customers tremble, unable to withstand the aura radiating from the shop owner. Struggling to regain his composure, the customer explains that his strength simply evaporated under the pressure. He politely excuses himself and his sister, eager to escape the suffocating atmosphere. The girl is reluctant, clearly infatuated with the shop manager and wanting to linger. Her brother drags her away, ignoring her protests as they flee the scene. The legendary battle pet shop falls silent in the aftermath. Suddenly, a hostile force descends, screaming for Luyu to meet his end. The protagonist stands his ground with his small dragon companion as a voice mocks his defiance, claiming he is storming the gates of hell. High above, an older man with gray hair and a mustache hovers on a massive dragon, sneering at the protagonist for his insolence. The protagonist wears a cold, vengeful smile, declaring he endured everything just to become a beast tamer and exact his revenge. Scene shifts to a dark, ominous estate under the night sky. A younger version of the protagonist kneels in desperation, begging for help as he learns of a plot to strip away his talent. With a cruel display of power, an assailant strikes the protagonist, sending him crashing to the floor. Standing over the fallen youth, the attacker coldly asserts that sacrificing everything is the greatest honor. The protagonist recoils in horror, his eyes wide with terror as he screams his refusal to comply. A brutal kick connects, silencing the protagonist's protest with an agonizing blow. Matriarch sits regally, her cold presence looming as she demands to know who gave him permission to leave. Clutching the ground, the protagonist pleads desperately for them not to take his talent away. Polished shoes step closer, looming over the protagonist's bloodied hands. Matriarch sips her tea with a chilling smirk, ordering the matter to be finished quickly and cleanly. With a wicked grin, a subordinate acknowledges the command, ready to carry out the violence. A sickening crunch echoes as a boot comes down, marking the brutal assault. The protagonist cries out in agony, his face pressed against the cold floor. The tormentor shows no mercy, annoyed by the noise as he continues his cruel work. A blood-curdling scream erupts across the estate, marking the tragic end of the night. Advertisement banner. Advertisement banner. Advertisement banner. Turning to the present, the older man mocks the idea of the protagonist awakening as a beast tamer. He warns of the power of his family, but the protagonist fires back, questioning the worth of his lineage. The older man seethes with rage, calling the protagonist scum for his arrogance. The small dragon lets out a fierce roar, ready to defend its master. Sneering, the man laughs at the thought of scum forming a pact with a dragon. He observes that the dragon seems forced into combat before reaching maturity, looking down at the pair from his mount. Confidently claims that the beast won't stand a chance against his own storm dragon. With a flick of his finger, the older man unleashes his assault, shouting, "Hurricane!" The main protagonist stands calm, his small dragon companion by his side, ready to face the threat. A powerful gust of wind erupts, swirling around the combatants as the pressure in the air intensifies. The older man scoffs, his eyes narrowing behind his glasses as he mocks the main protagonist for sending such a weak dragon to challenge him. The dragon lunges forward, tearing through the air with a deafening roar as the main protagonist watches in disbelief. The main protagonist stands firm, his aura flaring as he prepares to counter the overwhelming strength of the beast. With a cold, piercing gaze, the main protagonist stares down his opponent, daring him to show his true power. The dragon looms over the main protagonist, its burning presence signaling that only death awaits those who stand in its way. The dragon lets out a deafening roar, its armored form glowing with immense, destructive energy. The older man recoils in pure shock, his composure shattering as he witnesses the unexpected manifestation of power. Desperate to maintain control, the older man shouts that his dragon is at the peak of the bright star level, making defeat impossible. The main protagonist laughs, dismissing the creature as nothing more than a pathetic snack for his own summon. With a commanding gesture, the main protagonist calls forth his ultimate technique, the Dragon Domain. Shadowy tendrils erupt as the domain opens, completely overwhelming the battlefield with dark, oppressive energy. The older man trembles, unable to comprehend how the main protagonist could possibly possess such a forbidden ability. A terrifying demonic entity manifests, dwarfing the older man's dragon and forcing him to recognize the true hierarchy of power. The main protagonist grins, confirming that his summon belongs to the feared classification of demonic dragons. His eyes burning with intensity, the main protagonist reveals his beast is the demonic dragon of destruction, the natural predator of the Lu family's dragons. The two dragons clash, a torrent of red flames consuming the area as the demonic dragon dominates the exchange. A blinding flash of light erupts, marking the devastating impact of the clash. Energy arcs tear through the older man, leaving him bloodied and reeling from the backlash of his broken summon. The dragon cries out in agony as it is shredded by the raw power of the domain. The older man collapses, his body hitting the ground with a sickening thud as the battle turns decisively. Debris flies everywhere as the older man is pinned down, completely defeated by the onslaught. The older man lies broken on the ground, frantically questioning how the tide could turn so violently against him. Struggling to move, the older man tries to crawl away, his face etched with pain and terror. With a ruthless motion, the main protagonist steps firmly onto the older man's hand, crushing it into the concrete. The main protagonist sneers, asking the older man how it feels to be treated like the scum he truly is. The main protagonist grinds his heel into the older man's hand, admitting he has waited a long time for this moment. The older man begs for mercy, desperately invoking their past bond from when he cared for the main protagonist in his youth. The main protagonist laughs with chilling indifference, questioning the truth behind those claims of care. The main protagonist towers over his defeated opponent, his hand firmly gripping the man's head as he issues a cold, taunting command to observe the carnage. The massive, armored dragon lunges with predatory speed, its jaws snapping shut to deliver a crushing blow to its target. With a swift, brutal motion, the dragon secures its prey, lifting the smaller beast high into the air. The dragon lets out a deafening roar as it finishes off its prey, leaving no room for escape. Tears stream down the man's face as he watches his dragon get obliterated, his voice trembling in sheer desperation. Crushed by the overwhelming display of power, the man collapses to the ground, begging for mercy while offering total submission. The main protagonist looks down with a mocking smirk, his eyes glowing with a menacing red aura as he questions the sincerity of those pleas. His eyes narrow, radiating a lethal intensity that signals the end for his captive. Without a hint of hesitation, the main protagonist coldly tells him to find his atonement in the depths of hell. This is an advertisement banner. The dragon stands as a dominant shadow, looming over the defeated man, ready to execute the final blow. A massive, razor-sharp claw descends, casting a deathly shadow over the man. Blood splatters across the pavement as the impact leaves a crater in the wake of the destruction. This is an advertisement banner. This is an advertisement banner. This is an advertisement banner. Claw finishes its grim work, sealing the fate of the man who once challenged him. Blood pools in the crater, marking the end of the confrontation. With a satisfied grin, the main protagonist praises his dragon for a job well done. A system notification chimes, congratulating the main protagonist for his decisive victory. A reward manifests in the air, a glowing red star-level resource granted by the system. The main protagonist studies the demon heart, a powerful artifact containing the essence of a demon lord. The system interface displays the item's capability to upgrade dark-type battle pets to the red star level. The system continues to inform him of his progress, noting he has accumulated 900 points. System interface flashes, showing a cheerful digital avatar gesturing with a victory sign. The main protagonist contemplates his next move, considering the potential for a second battle pet. He summons a flickering purple flame in his palm, acknowledging his god-slaying sky fire talent. With a confident smile, he decides to commit to this choice. He reaches out to tap the claim button, finalizing the acquisition of his new power. Majestic purple flame emperor bird erupts into existence, its aura surging with the intensity of a first awakening level beast that holds the potential to reach the 10th Holy Spirit rank. The system interface flashes, revealing the beast's formidable stats: Flame Soul, Fire Master, and the Imperial Blood talent that suppresses any battle pet of lesser potential. Main protagonist stares in awe, his face lighting up with excitement as he exclaims, "What an overbearing aura!" He marvels at the sheer power radiating from his new companion, noting that its presence is exactly what one would expect from a creature at the first Holy Spirit level. Main protagonist reflects on the rarity of such power, pointing out that even the guardian divine dragon of the Xia state is only at this same level. The reality sets in. Across the entire Blue Star, there are only 6 sacred beasts that have reached the legendary Holy Spirit level. Main protagonist reaches out to gently stroke the creature, promising that with growth and evolution, it will surely surpass even the guardian divine dragon. Commands the pact, and a brilliant, glowing magic circle materializes, binding the powerful entity to him. The creature lets out a soft, melodic cry, signaling the successful completion of their bond. Main protagonist snaps his fingers, realizing he almost forgot to adjust the creature's size for better convenience. The beast shrinks down to a miniature form, settling comfortably as main protagonist notes how much more practical this is. Main protagonist smiles, acknowledging that with his new companions, he is finally one step closer to his goal of revenge against the Lu family. He turns his gaze toward the demonic dragon of destruction, asking with a smirk if it agrees with his sentiment. Main protagonist chuckles, teasing the dragon not to be so narrow-minded about their partnership. He offers a firm promise to the demonic dragon of destruction. Once their current business is concluded, he will upgrade its bloodline potential. The small bird chirps curiously, watching the interaction between its master and the massive dragon. The bird flutters through the air, moving toward the demonic dragon of destruction with a playful energy. A tiny creature lands near the dragon's massive horn, showing no fear of the apex predator. The demonic dragon of destruction looks down, seemingly charmed by the bird's sudden arrival. A heart icon appears, struck by an arrow, symbolizing the sudden spark of affection between the two beasts. The demonic dragon of destruction blushes deeply, surrounded by floating hearts, completely smitten. Main protagonist observes the scene with a knowing look, remarking that beauty truly has a way of seducing even the fiercest dragons. Main protagonist presents a glowing item to the demonic dragon of destruction, telling it that this gift is specifically for its benefit. He explains that by consuming the demon heart, the dragon's level will skyrocket, making its breakthrough to the first Holy Spirit level inevitable. The demonic dragon of destruction eyes the prize, its predatory instincts taking over as it prepares to consume the heart. The swift motion, the dragon snaps its jaws around the demon heart, swallowing it in one gulp. Immediately, the demonic dragon of destruction begins to struggle, clearly overwhelmed by the intense energy it just ingested. Main protagonist reacts quickly, realizing that the demon heart is saturated with dark and overbearing emotions that could harm the dragon. The dragon groans in distress, suffering from the sudden surge of power that its body isn't ready to process. Main protagonist steps forward, reassuring the dragon that he will help it digest the overwhelming energy. Main protagonist channels his energy, initiating a spiritual power refining process as a blue aura envelopes him. The atmosphere is tense as pink-haired female confronts main protagonist, demanding to know if he has lost his mind. Pink-haired female gestures wildly, furious that he squandered their precious resources on breeding goblins. She argues that the reproduction rate for pet beasts is already abysmal, making this gamble far too dangerous. Main protagonist remains calm, explaining that this particular specimen is capable of breeding an entire colony. His eyes burn with determination as he declares that this colony will become the cornerstone of the Luo family's future. The pink-haired female isn't convinced, insisting that he cannot neglect her beloved ice fox for the sake of goblins. Main protagonist reassures her with a gentle pat, promising that both her ice fox and his crimson flame chicken will receive top-tier upgrades. Subordinate approaches, delivering the requested resources to main protagonist. Pink-haired female eagerly reaches for the box, unable to contain her curiosity. Her eyes widen as she gazes at the shimmering, high-value crystals inside, marveling at his generosity. She is overwhelmed by the presence of rare materials, jokingly declaring her loyalty to him in her next life. Main protagonist warns her to be careful, as these items are intended as gifts for Senior Lu. Pink-haired female pouts, complaining that he is making her run errands despite keeping the best resources for himself. Storefront of the mythical pet shop stands quiet under the bright daylight. Pink-haired female reflects on her brother's unexpected foresight as she carries the package. She is shocked that he would simply give away such priceless treasures from the exotic wonders list. Main protagonist explains that without Senior Lu's guidance, his potential would have remained stagnant at the monarch rank. With the Crimson Flame Chicken, he now believes he can reach peak monarch status and potentially even break through to the overlord rank. Pink-haired female cheers, hoping that by currying favor with Senior Lu, she might also reach the overlord rank one day. Arriving at the location, pink-haired female calls out to announce her arrival to Senior Lu. She presents the Crimson Heart Earth Fire and Violet Mystic Extreme Ice as tokens of the Luo family's appreciation. The individual she is meeting acknowledges the gesture, mentioning that her brother had helped him out just the day before. Pink-haired female dismisses the praise, noting that the pet beasts they purchased provided a massive boost to their own talents. Senior Lu is stunned to learn that the system shop beasts possess such potent hidden effects. He accepts the gift graciously, clearly impressed by the value of the transaction. Pink-haired female bids him farewell, offering her assistance should he ever require anything in the future. Senior Lu examines the Crimson Heart Earth Fire, wondering if his Violet Flame Emperor bird could utilize its power. He summons his bird, a vibrant creature surrounded by a powerful aura, to test the crystal. Senior Lu offers the crystal to the bird, encouraging it to give the energy a try. The bird chirps happily as it begins to absorb the intense energy from the crystal, glowing with newfound power. Main protagonist stares in utter disbelief, his eyes wide as he realizes he has achieved an instant breakthrough. The bird chirps happily as it begins to absorb the intense energy from the crystal, glowing with newfound power. The energy surges, manifesting as a powerful transformation that resonates across the entire system interface. The system alerts main protagonist with a congratulatory message, confirming that the Violet Flame Emperor bird has reached the super level. A new skill, True Form of the Flame Bird, is unlocked, exponentially increasing flame output and raw destructive power. The bird soars with newfound brilliance, proving that pets acquired through points possess power far superior to any freebies. The scene shifts to the prestigious Magic City Beast Taming University, where a new day of training begins. Standing before the class, the professor declares that strength is the only rule that matters here. Lu Luochan, a Stage 6 Dark Moon-level beast tamer, smiles coldly while challenging the students to prove their worth. She beckons for a volunteer to step forward and assist with the day's demonstration. The students erupt in excitement, eager to show off their own battle pets and claim the opportunity. Lu Luochan drops a bombshell, announcing that they will be participating in a live beast taming battle. She turns her gaze toward main protagonist and dark-haired female with ponytail, selecting them for the match. Dark-haired female with ponytail looks stunned, pointing to herself in confusion. Main protagonist simply scoffs, unimpressed by the sudden turn of events. The surrounding students gossip about the matchup, noting that dark-haired female with ponytail is famous for her support-type talent. They mention the other combatant, Yan Xiaopeng, a powerhouse who contracted the frenzied blade werewolf. Dark-haired female with ponytail feels the pressure, fearing she will be steamrolled without any damage skills. Pink-haired female teases her, mocking the weakness of her moonlight butterfly. Pink-haired female offers a playful ultimatum, flatter her, and she might just take her place. Desperate, dark-haired female with ponytail hugs her, begging for the strongest student to intervene. Pink-haired female agrees with a smile, dismissing the challenge as a piece of cake. The crowd cheers as they realize another beauty is stepping up to the plate. Pink-haired female addresses the professor, requesting to fight in place of her friend. The professor readily accepts the request with a composed nod. She asks if anyone has objections, but the decision is already set in stone. Yan Xiaopeng grins, ready to unleash his power against this new challenger. Pink-haired female summons her pet, leaving everyone shocked to see a simple slime monster. The audience erupts in disbelief. They cannot fathom why she would choose such a seemingly pathetic, low-level slime monster for a high-stakes university duel. Facing her opponent, she stands firm, her resolve unshaken as she confirms her intent to battle with her chosen companion. Her opponent cuts through the tension with a cold warning. In this arena, fate dictates who lives and who dies. He delivers a final, harsh ultimatum. If the slime monster is destroyed, he takes no responsibility for the loss. Watching from the stands, a student is incensed by the disrespect shown toward her. A cynical observer scoffs, claiming that without raw power, beauty is meaningless and that she is merely a pretty face. A voice from the crowd fires back, demanding that everyone stop underestimating the potential of the slime monster. Skeptic remains unmoved, insisting that even the strongest slime monster has a hard limit at the third stage of the awakening level. She steps forward, warning her opponent that looking down on a tamer's beast is a mistake he will soon regret. He sneers, dismissing the threat as a joke and signaling that the time for talk is over. He unleashes his power, summoning his beast to the battlefield amidst a surge of red energy. The beast stands ready, its red aura pulsating with lethal intent as he prepares for the clash. She remains composed, her slime monster hovering nearby, glowing with a soft, steady blue light. The tension peaks as they lock eyes, the battle about to commence. The beast lets out a deafening roar, shaking the very foundations of the arena. The beast lunges forward, its blades carving through the air toward the small, agile slime monster. The beast roars again, its presence dominating the field as it prepares for the kill. The beast strikes with terrifying speed, aiming to cleave the slime monster in two. She scoffs, unfazed by the overwhelming display of force from her opponent. She activates her skill as a torrent of blue energy erupts from the slime monster. Her opponent mocks the move, calling it a mere gold-tier skill, and orders his beast to press the attack. The beast closes the distance, confident that his superior power will end the fight instantly. The lethal swing, the beast prepares to deliver the final blow. The beast suddenly cries out in shock as the slime monster's ability catches it off guard. The observers are stunned. The slime monster has completely outmaneuvered the beast, leaving everyone questioning their assumptions. The beast grunts in pain, forced back by the unexpected strength of the slime monster's defense. The spectators are in complete disbelief, pointing toward the arena as they witness the frenzied blade werewolf in a state of sudden, inexplicable distress. The beast convulses, blood spraying from its maw as a surge of blue energy tears through its defenses, forcing it into a state of critical injury. Frenzied blade werewolf collapses in defeat, letting out a pathetic whimper as its weapons clatter to the floor, completely overwhelmed by the slime monster. Main protagonist stands stunned, eyes wide in disbelief as he struggles to process how his opponent was so easily dismantled. Pink-haired female wears a smug, triumphant grin, clearly enjoying the look of shock on her classmate's face. Main protagonist is left reeling, his pride shattered by the realization that his defeat came at the hands of a mere slime monster. Overwhelmed by the crushing reality of his loss, main protagonist drops to his knees, clutching his head in utter confusion. Pink-haired female stands confidently, reminding him that the world of beast taming is far more unpredictable than he ever imagined. Both pink-haired female and main protagonist share a moment of optimism, dreaming of a future where even the humblest creatures can overcome legendary foes. The surrounding classmates erupt in a frenzy of excitement, unable to contain their shock at the spectacle they just witnessed. The crowd is completely captivated, with one student practically swooning while demanding to know the secret behind such elite training methods. Ethereal blonde female enters the scene, rushing toward pink-haired female with a look of genuine concern. Ethereal blonde female embraces pink-haired female, expressing her relief and pride in her friend's impressive display. Pink-haired female laughs off the praise, dismissing the intense battle as if it were nothing more than a simple chore. Main protagonist kneels beside his defeated pet, desperately trying to rouse the frenzied blade werewolf from its unconscious state. Ethereal blonde female steps forward, offering her assistance to heal the injured beast. Main protagonist scratches his head, caught off guard but clearly appreciative of the unexpected help. Pink-haired female interjects with a playful warning, reminding him that such high-level healing is a rare and valuable service. Ethereal blonde female smiles warmly, brushing off the cost and emphasizing the bond they share as classmates. Ethereal blonde female channels her power, summoning the moonlight butterfly to perform a sacred act of restoration. The moonlight butterfly descends upon the fallen beast, its radiant energy beginning to knit the wounds back together instantly. Main protagonist watches in absolute awe, stunned by the speed and tear of the healing skill being displayed before him. An observer watches with intense interest, questioning if the creature is a rare white moon butterfly with legendary potential. The observer looks visibly troubled, struggling to reconcile the existence of such a supposedly extinct species. Ethereal blonde female clarifies the mystery, revealing that the creature is actually a moonlight butterfly evolved from a common green cotton worm. The observer is visibly shaken, realizing that such a profound evolution must have required the intervention of a hidden master. Ethereal blonde female extends an invitation, requesting a private meeting in her office once the class concludes. Ethereal blonde female reflects on the infinite possibilities of beast taming, citing the day's surprising events as proof of her philosophy. Ethereal blonde female offers a knowing smile, confirming that their success is no mere coincidence. Ethereal blonde female concludes that none of these extraordinary feats would have been possible without the guidance of expert breeding. Ethereal blonde female explains that in a civilization from hundreds of thousands of years ago, beast taming reached its absolute peak. Pink-haired female reacts with genuine surprise, questioning if that historical claim is truly serious. Ethereal blonde female continues her lecture, noting that legendary breeders of that era were rumored to have the power to evolve a simple loach into a mighty dragon. Pink-haired female expresses her shock at the revelation, unable to fathom such an incredible feat. Pink-haired female suggests that they should audit a history class together to learn more about these ancient secrets. Pink-haired female laments that because the art of breeding requires such immense natural talent, the knowledge has been lost to time. Pink-haired female begins to ponder if the mysterious shopkeeper they know might actually possess the rare skills of a breeder. Ethereal blonde female echoes the question, focused on the identity of the shopkeeper. Pink-haired female confirms that the shopkeeper is indeed the one who provided them with the slime monster and the evolutionary green cotton worm. Ethereal blonde female decides that the evidence is too strong to ignore and concludes that a personal visit to the shop is necessary. A luxury car pulls up in front of the unassuming pet shop, marking the arrival of the visitors. A pair of heels steps out of the vehicle, signaling the start of their inquiry. Ethereal blonde female stands before the shop entrance, assessing the establishment. Ethereal blonde female removes her sunglasses, confident that she has finally found the right location. Main protagonist observes his imperial violet flame bird, noting with satisfaction that it has successfully broken through to the super level. Ethereal blonde female enters the shop, immediately calling out to see if the manager is present. Ethereal blonde female politely asks main protagonist if he is, in fact, a nurturer. Main protagonist looks at her, momentarily taken aback by the direct question regarding his title. Main protagonist smiles, telling her that if that is what she believes, then he is happy to accept the title. Main protagonist reflects on his system, realizing that since it includes a nurturing unit, adopting the title of nurturer is a strategic move for the future. The pink-haired female pauses, caught in a moment of confusion as she contemplates the true meaning behind the words of main protagonist. She shakes off her doubt, reasoning that such a high-stakes secret would never be shared so easily with someone she just met. Turning her attention back to business, she asks main protagonist if he has any suitable pet cubs available for a new contract. Main protagonist's eyes light up with a sharp, predatory glint as he realizes a profitable opportunity has just walked through his door. With a welcoming gesture, main protagonist invites her to discuss her specific requirements before they proceed further. The pink-haired female reveals her A-rank dragon wing talent, explaining that she needs a pet with a dragon bloodline to maximize her combat efficiency. Main protagonist looks intrigued, immediately questioning her connection to the Lu family, one of the elite dragon-taming clans. Caught off guard, the pink-haired female hesitates, her expression tightening as she prepares to answer. Main protagonist looms over her, his tone dripping with disbelief as he realizes she is the sole heir of the Lu family yet only possesses a rank talent. He cruelly mocks her, contrasting her mediocrity against the S-rank prodigies of the Gu and Lu families, labeling her as mere A-rank scum. Visibly frustrated by the interrogation, the pink-haired female retorts that she never expected such intense verification just to buy a simple pet. Main protagonist scoffs at the internal politics of the major families, clearly unimpressed by the gossip. He apologizes, stating that he has no pets with dragon bloodlines currently in stock. However, he quickly pivots, flashing a confident grin as he claims to possess a real, genuine dragon. The pink-haired female is stunned, demanding he stop lying since the major families have already monopolized all known giant dragon species. Main protagonist summons his demonic dragon of destruction, boasting that the giant dragons she knows are nothing more than snacks for his pet. Pink-haired female gasps in shock, recognizing the demonic dragon species as a bloodline that rivals the legendary divine dragons. Main protagonist invites her to take a closer look at the creature contained within his jar. She stares at the tiny jar, finding it impossible to believe that a real dragon could be kept in such a confined space. Inside the jar, a small, glowing red creature swims amidst a burst of intense energy. The pink-haired female explodes in frustration, asking if he brought out a common carp just to make dinner out of it. She snaps at him, wondering if he accidentally grabbed the wrong item from his inventory. Main protagonist calmly denies the mistake, holding the jar steady. Pink-haired female dismisses the creature as a cheap market carp, mocking its low value. Main protagonist smiles knowingly, asking if she has ever heard the legend of a carp jumping over the dragon gate. He explains that the carp has the potential to transform into a dragon once it crosses that legendary threshold. The pink-haired female acknowledges his knowledge, noting that it fits a teacher from the Magic City University's beast taming department. She quickly reminds him that the Dragon Gate is nothing more than a myth that vanished thousands of years ago. Main protagonist drops the bombshell, asking what she would say if this very carp could recreate the ancient Dragon Gate itself. The pink-haired female stands speechless, her eyes wide as the reality of his claim begins to sink in. The shop owner calmly explains that business operates on mutual consent, not force, while the woman urgently insists on acquiring the item. A shimmering energy surrounds the jar as the woman reaches out to accept it. A brilliant magical seal activates as the contract is finalized, manifesting the pet carp from within the jar. The woman gasps in disbelief, confirming that the legendary contract is real. Overwhelmed with excitement, the woman clasps her hands, awestruck by the power she now holds. Regret washes over the woman as she apologizes to the shop owner for her earlier behavior. The woman bows deeply in a sincere display of respect. Flustered, the shop owner quickly turns his gaze away, stammering that he saw absolutely nothing. The woman looks up, bashfully asking the shop owner if he could do her one more favor. With a shy expression, she explains that she has spare clothes in her car and asks him to retrieve them. The shop owner immediately bolts toward the door, promising to get the clothes for her right away. A humorous flash of imagination crosses the shop owner's mind, visualizing a news report about him being arrested for harassment. Relieved, the shop owner realizes he made the right choice to run, avoiding a massive misunderstanding. Quickly unlocks the car trunk and retrieves the bag, confirming it is the correct one. With the bag in hand, the shop owner sprints back through the streets. Moments later, the shop owner is seen relaxing in his office, sipping a drink at his desk. The woman approaches him, expressing her sincere gratitude for his assistance. The shop owner waves off the thanks and shifts the conversation to the training of the red carp. The woman replies, noting that her previous pets were of the metal, water, and wind attributes. She expresses her desire to experiment with a completely new attribute for the red carp. The shop owner produces a glowing lightning element crystal, suggesting they put it to the test. The woman moves the crystal toward the aquarium, guiding the energy toward the red carp. The lightning energy surges into the water, enveloping the red carp in a crackling display of power. A massive mystical structure manifests as the woman gasps, realizing the legend of the Dragon Gate is true. Suddenly, a small, draconic creature erupts from the energy, letting out a fierce roar. The shop owner reaches out to steady the energetic creature, telling it to calm down. The shop owner reaches out to steady the energetic creature, telling it to calm down, while the main protagonist insists they remain focused on their training. The pink-haired female directs her energy toward the structure as violet lightning crackles intensely around the portal. A deafening roar tears through the air as the Dragon Gate erupts with raw, surging power. Main protagonist observes the transformation, noting that the gate has finally stabilized and the evolution is imminent. With a command, pink-haired female urges the creature forward, its form splashing into the magical tank. The creature swims within its bubble, bracing itself for the monumental leap ahead. Water churns violently as the creature prepares to breach the surface. The bubble ascends, carrying the creature toward the shimmering threshold of the gate. Sparks of energy dance across the creature's scales as it struggles against the gate's immense pressure. Pink-haired female watches with bated breath, desperate to know why the process has suddenly stalled. Main protagonist explains that the gate reflects the creature's talent, and as its owner, she must provide the necessary boost. Main protagonist smiles, genuinely impressed by the unexpected depth of her abilities. Pink-haired female channels her power, focusing all her resolve into the creature. A surge of energy connects her to the gate, creating a path for the creature to follow. Creature accelerates, glowing with a brilliant, newly awakened light. Pink-haired female shouts the final command, pushing the creature to make the leap. The air crackles with tension as she exerts her will upon the environment. The creature soars through the air, crossing the threshold of the gate. Golden flames erupt as the transformation takes hold, marking a successful evolution. Pink-haired female realizes with shock that her own talent is rapidly evolving alongside her companion. Main protagonist confirms the bond, explaining that their shared success has elevated her potential. Pink-haired female gasps as the power surges through her veins. Wings of pure energy manifest from her back, signaling her new transformation. The creature emerges in its true form, the mighty Thunder Red Dragon. The system display confirms the creature's formidable stats and king-level potential. Despite the immense strength of the Thunder Red Dragon, the realization remains that it is not yet of the giant dragon species. Dragon lineage is vast and complex, ranging from the giant lizard-like species to the serpentine Jiao dragons. Should one manage to reach the dominance level, it would ascend into the ranks of the true dragon species. Main protagonist smiles, noting that for a friendship price of 5 million, he provides the space for such a transformation. He asks if payment will be by card or cash. She quickly processes the payment, internally hoping to leave before the manager has a change of heart. Main protagonist clears the transaction and tells her she is free to head out now. Main protagonist notices his companion's excitement and wonders if it wants to evolve after witnessing the Dragon Gate jump. Dragon Gate holds the millennium-old essence of Western dragons, providing newfound power and insight. The creature lets out a sharp cry, its eyes glowing with newfound intensity. A system notification pulses, revealing the successful evolution into a demonic Holy First Advanced Awakened Destruction Dragon. Main protagonist looks at the result and simply mutters, "Not bad." Under the pale moonlight, a luxurious mansion stands silent in the night. She rests on the sofa, still reeling from the dreamlike experience of forming a contract with a pure-blood dragon lineage. A knock at the door interrupts her thoughts, leaving her wondering who would visit so late. She opens the door to find her teacher standing there and asks what brings him by at this hour. Older man with gray hair and mustache smiles warmly, hoping he hasn't disturbed her rest. She quickly invites him inside, assuring him he is no trouble at all. He asks how she felt after giving her first class earlier that day. She expresses her enthusiasm, mentioning that she has discovered 2 geniuses and suggests he pay them more attention. Intrigued, he asks to hear more about these students who have earned such high praise. She explains that Shinyanyan and Ruayun are first-year students who have contracted with special growth-type pets, signaling a limitless future. He is visibly shocked, questioning if they truly possess pets with special growth talent. He notes that any beast tamer with such a contract is destined to become a provincial governor or even a pillar of the state. She admits that she also contracted a pet from the same shop, which evolved from a common red carp into one with king-level potential. He is completely stunned by her revelation, unable to hide his disbelief. He demands she bring it out immediately so he can see it for himself. She calls out for her Thunder Jiao dragon, summoning it forth. A majestic dragon manifests in a burst of brilliant energy. He recognizes the species immediately as the rare Jiao dragon, legendary creatures thought to have left for the dragon realm long ago. He asks in astonishment if all these extraordinary pets were acquired from the same shop. He confirms it, noting that the prices are suspiciously low, suggesting the manager has a greater purpose in mind. The older man looks visibly shaken, questioning if such an extraordinary feat could truly be possible. The woman asks if an expert of that caliber could truly emerge in their current era. The older man flatly denies the possibility for the time being. He points out that historical records claim the previous beast-taming civilization was brought to ruin by an expert of that very rank. He expresses deep uncertainty, noting that if such a force returns, it is impossible to know whether it will bring salvation or destruction. The woman hesitates, wondering if she should disclose the true extent of the owner's power. She fears that if the older man labels him a threat to the state, the resulting fallout would be catastrophic. She suggests that he send reliable young beast tamers to the legendary battle pet shop instead. She notes that this strategy serves both to build a relationship and to put the shop to the test. The older man considers her advice and agrees to follow her plan. The young man stares at a system notification, shocked that owning a shop could grant him such a mysterious reward. Confident in his financial standing, he decides that purchasing the shop is a simple matter. He calls the owner, offering 17 million to buy the property outright. The owner immediately rejects the offer as too low, insisting on a face-to-face negotiation. The young man argues that his offer is already well above the market value for neighboring shops. The owner smirks, sensing that the young man is desperate and calculating how to extort more money. He cuts the conversation short, demanding that the young man wait for his arrival. Young man sighs at the owner's blatant greed. Two young men arrive at the location, looking around the area. One of the newcomers questions if this is truly the shop their grandfather recommended, noting its shabby appearance. The other man dismisses the concern, claiming that a true expert wouldn't care about such trivial things. The young proprietor steps forward, casually asking if they need any assistance. The man tells him they are there to buy pets and asks him to call the manager out. The proprietor smiles and calmly informs them that he is the one in charge. Two customers lament that despite being the grandsons of the beast-taming university's principal, their awakened talents are underwhelming. The protagonist listens calmly, inviting them to explain their situation further. They reveal their talents, one focused on accelerated growth for pet beasts and the other granting a tier attack trait. The protagonist reassures them, noting that the accelerated growth talent is perfect for nurturing a powerful swarm-style army. One customer lights up, recognizing the potential of a swarm-style beast tied to crush all opposition. Protagonist points out that the other customer is perfectly suited for a pet beast with explosive, raw destructive power. The customer admits he had considered that, but has struggled to find a beast that truly fits that role. The protagonist reaches for two containers with deliberate, confident movements. He places the containers down, gesturing for the two men to examine them. The customer leans in, squinting at the jar with a confused expression. Both look around in confusion, still unable to spot the creatures they were promised. The containers remain seemingly vacant, fueling their mounting skepticism. The protagonist smiles, encouraging them to look closer at the tiny details inside. They lean in further, faces inches from the glass, searching for any sign of life. Suddenly, they spot them, tiny, pulsating ants resting at the bottom of the containers. Doubt fills their voices as they question whether such small insects could be effective pet beasts. Protagonist explains that these are no ordinary insects, they possess a rare growth-type talent. With the right evolutionary route, these creatures can be molded into any form the owner desires. The protagonist projects a data interface, revealing the complex evolutionary paths available to them. Energy transfers into their hands, imprinting the knowledge directly into their minds. Awestruck, they realize their ants can evolve into legendary sovereign rank types like demon god ants and sky ants. The other customer realizes his can become a heaven-rending ant capable of tearing the sky asunder. Overwhelmed with gratitude, the two men thank the protagonist for providing such extraordinary creatures. The protagonist smiles, telling them that nurturing these creatures well is the only repayment he requires. He looks toward the horizon, envisioning the network of factions he is building that will soon shake the world. Suddenly, his phone vibrates, interrupting his thoughts with an incoming call. The protagonist glances at the screen, noting the caller ID. A man outside the shop demands that the protagonist come out and welcome him immediately. Protagonist calmly replies, telling him to simply walk inside if he wants to talk. The man on the other end loses his temper, questioning if the protagonist still wants to sell the shop after being so disrespectful. Main protagonist holds his phone to his ear, his expression hardening as he firmly tells the person on the other end that he won't be repeating his instructions. The man on the other end of the line, clearly agitated, demands to know if main protagonist truly believes his background hasn't been thoroughly investigated. Manager Lou sneers, mocking main protagonist for being a failed exam student who isn't even a beast tamer, warning him not to be so shameless. Manager Lou points aggressively, declaring that if they are so desperate to buy the shop, he is ready to make a deal. Manager Lou sets his demand, a non-negotiable price of 30 million, not a single penny less. One of the companions lashes out, calling Manager Lou a greedy fat pig and arguing that the shop is worth no more than 15 million. Manager Lou folds his arms with a smug grin, retorting that it is his shop and he will set the price to whatever he pleases. With a cold, dismissive tone, Manager Lou tells them to get lost if they cannot afford his asking price. Enraged by the disrespect, the companion steps forward, demanding to know who gave them the audacity to speak to Manager Lou in such a manner. Another ally steps in, politely asking main protagonist to let them handle this, insisting there is no need for him to dirty his hands with such small fry. Main protagonist calmly replies, telling them not to disturb the neighbors. The group pauses as one of them addresses a newcomer, calling out to Uncle Chun. Uncle Chun looms over Manager Lou, warning him that it is useless to call for help, as he is a trained fighter who no one on this street can defeat. Uncle Chun grips Manager Lou, sternly asking if he was the one who disrespected his young master. Uncle Chun turns to his young master, waiting for orders on how to deal with the now terrified Manager Lu. The young master coldly commands Uncle Chun to teach Manager Lu a severe lesson so he never forgets it. Uncle Chun curtly acknowledges the order with a simple yes. Manager Lu panics, struggling as he tries to break free, frantically claiming he has powerful backing. The young master smiles, tauntingly asking if he is referring to the Duan family. Manager Lu freezes in shock, realizing he is dealing with the legendary beast-taming family that dominates the Xia country. The young master confirms it with a sharp, "That's right." The young master instructs Uncle Chun to take Manager Lu away immediately. Manager Lu begs for his life, pleading for mercy as he is dragged away. Associates tell main protagonist that if he wants the shop, they will handle the transfer for him, to which he agrees with a nod. Main protagonist receives a notification on his phone, signaling the completion of the transaction. The message confirms that after a friendly discussion, the shop has been transferred to main protagonist free of charge. A system notification pops up, announcing that main protagonist has successfully unlocked the achievement for owning his first true pet beast shop. The older man looks on with a mixture of shock and desperate inquiry, asking if there is any way to resolve their predicament. The protagonist responds with a calm, confident smile, assuring him that the shattered beast taming space is not an insurmountable problem. The protagonist manifests a glowing blue energy construct in his palm, demonstrating his mastery over the space. Offering the glowing object toward the older man, the protagonist urges him to examine the item closely. The older man stares at the object, his eyes wide as he struggles to comprehend what is before him. The protagonist explains that the object is a seed for the lush tree, a base-level plant-type beast. He reveals that the seed possesses the unique engrave talent, allowing it to record any evolutionary path within its bloodline. With a gesture, the protagonist presents the customized evolution path he has prepared for the older man. The older man is stunned, realizing the seed can evolve into a void-suppressing giant tree. The protagonist explains that by nurturing the tree to its peak form, the older man can effectively stabilize his damaged taming space. The older man listens intently, realizing his deepest anxieties might finally be put to rest. Despite the offer, the older man expresses his gratitude but firmly declines the help. He explains that he has no intention of forming new contracts with any more beasts. The protagonist looks genuinely confused and slightly frustrated by this unexpected rejection. The protagonist loses his composure, shouting in disbelief that his hard work has been disregarded. The older man recalls the sacrifice of his 9 previous beasts in the war, refusing to put another life in harm's way. He admits that while he could change his fate, he finds it too cruel to subject more creatures to his path. The older man suggests that the seed should be given to younger beast tamers who can truly utilize its potential. The protagonist sighs, internally noting that while he would normally lose patience, he respects the older man too much to be harsh. Narrative shifts to the past, showing portals opening across the city and unleashing chaos upon the world. Xia country, being the weakest among the major nations, suffered the most devastating impact during the invasion. 5 desperate defensive lines were established on the battlefield to prevent total national collapse. A map illustrates the rapid fall of these defenses, with each line being breached in increasingly shorter time frames. Beast tamers were drafted into the conflict, standing on the front lines to hold back the encroaching alien forces. General Duan Xianghua, the highest-ranking officer, bore the heaviest burden of duty during these dark times. Over the decades, he contracted 10 sovereign-rank beasts, yet 9 of them ultimately perished in the brutal war. The repeated severance of these contracts left his internal taming space completely shattered and beyond repair. It is not that he cannot form new bonds, but the reality is that no creature can survive within his broken, unstable space. The beast stands amidst crackling energy, a reminder of the raw power that once defined his domain. A massive, ancient tree pulses with raw energy, identified as a void-suppressing giant tree with sovereign rank Tier 10 potential. Older man with gray hair and mustache observes the tree, stunned by its rapid evolution. A glowing, complex array of ancient runes manifests in the air as a contract is initiated. The branches of the tree begin to extend, crackling with magical power. The tree expands rapidly, its roots and branches surging outward with unstoppable force. Ground beneath the tree fractures as the energy converges, signaling the completion of the process. Older man with gray hair and mustache looks on in disbelief, confirming his beast taming space has been fully repaired. Main protagonist stands before older man with gray hair and mustache, announcing the completion of the contract and his departure. Older man with gray hair and mustache urgently calls out for main protagonist to stop. Main protagonist turns back, calmly asking older man with gray hair and mustache if there is anything else he needs. Older man with gray hair and mustache extends an invitation for main protagonist to join the Magic City Beast Taming University. Main protagonist reflects on his past, holding a rejection letter while questioning the sudden change in his fortune. Main protagonist politely but firmly declines the offer from older man with gray hair and mustache. Main protagonist explains that his current business plans take priority over becoming a student. Older man with gray hair and mustache clarifies that he is not offering a student position, but rather a role as a professor. Older man with gray hair and mustache suggests that main protagonist start as a tutor due to administrative procedures. Main protagonist expresses shock, noting that such a position usually requires a sovereign rank status. Older man with gray hair and mustache jokingly considers offering a vice principal position to sweeten the deal. Older man with gray hair and mustache playfully suggests he could even retire to make room for him. Main protagonist contemplates the offer, weighing the significant risks against the potential benefits. Main protagonist realizes the immense financial security a professor's title would provide for his shop. Main protagonist agrees to the position, provided it does not interfere with his shop's operations. Older man with gray hair and mustache enthusiastically agrees to the terms. Older man with gray hair and mustache mentions that the position also unlocks lucrative scientific research quotas. Main protagonist visualizes the massive wealth these quotas could generate. Main protagonist dreams of the monthly salary and bonuses, already imagining himself swimming in riches. Main protagonist is thrilled to learn about the university's vast library of skill manuals and secret realms. Main protagonist marvels at his unexpected path from a failed student to a top-tier university tutor. The imposing silhouette of the Magic City Beast Taming University looms under the night sky. A mysterious woman watches from a balcony, wondering about the outcome of the meeting. The woman's eyes widen as she catches sight of something unexpected, her expression shifting to one of sudden realization. A brilliant, pulsing green light emanates from the garden, signaling the activation of a powerful evolutionary force. Seeing the display, the companion demands to know what he is doing, his tone sharp with concern. With a steady hand, he channels his talent origin directly into the Ant Queen, initiating a risky fusion process. He explains with a confident smirk that this fusion will drastically accelerate the growth of both the beast and himself. Companion quickly warns him of the severe consequences, losing the ability to contract new beasts and the permanent loss of his tamer status if the Ant Queen falls. Undeterred, he dismisses the danger, showing a reckless disregard for the potential end of his path as a beast tamer. Watching from the sidelines, the woman is struck by the unexpected depth of resolve shown by the young man. She observes the scene, noting that his determination is truly worthy of his family lineage. The older man enters the conversation, remarking on his improved physical state thanks to the intervention of the shop manager. Stunned, she asks if his beast taming space has truly managed to recover. He confirms it with a grin, challenging her to guess the method used by the shop manager. She speculates that a high-level resource was used to repair the damage. He laughs, correcting her by revealing that the shop manager had him contract a tree instead. The void-suppressing tree manifests, its energy stabilizing the surrounding space. He explains that the giant tree has sealed his shattered space, offering a path back to his former peak. With his lifespan extended, he reassures them that he has centuries left to live. She clasps her hands in joy, relieved to hear such positive news. He mentions that the shop manager has been invited to tutor at the university, making them future colleagues. Her eyes light up with pure disbelief and excitement at the prospect. The companions cheer, demanding to be enrolled as students in the shop manager's classes. Main protagonist meditates in a field, surrounded by his powerful mythical beasts. Main protagonist reflects on his 3 SSS rank talents, lamenting that merely using them to feed his beasts is a waste of potential. He considers a new strategy, fusing his talents directly with his beasts to maximize their power. He envisions the demon dragon reigning as the absolute king of the dark hell through such a fusion. He contemplates imbuing the emperor bird with god-slaying fire, granting it devastating destructive capabilities. With his 3rd talent still lacking a beast, main protagonist realizes it is time to find a new companion to contract. Main protagonist considers the possibility of redeeming an even more exceptional cub than his existing demon dragon and emperor bird companions. He decides that a plant-type beast is the ideal choice, offering better compatibility with his life origin talent and helping to stabilize his beast taming space. The system interface begins to list the plant-type pets available for 1,200 points. The list reveals the Elf Mother Tree, Sacred Star Tree, Giant Tree of War, and Ancient Tree of Life, all priced at 1,200 points. Main protagonist reviews the Elf Mother Tree, a Tier 3 Holy Spirit rank beast that can create an elven tribe by consuming specific resources. Quickly dismisses the idea, noting that the elven race has already declined, making them a poor investment. He evaluates the Sacred Star Tree, which can revive and elevate a planet's status, but concludes it holds little value for his current needs. The Giant Tree of War catches his attention, capable of spawning war demon trees and plant war beasts that thrive on the chaos of battle. Main protagonist shudders at the thought, deciding that such an evil nature does not suit an upright gentleman like himself. Finally, he turns his focus to the Ancient Tree of Life, noting its inherent compatibility with his Law of Life talent. He wonders if this tree truly keeps death away and fills everything with vitality. Convinced it is the perfect match for his 3rd talent, main protagonist presses the redeem button. System confirms the redemption of the Ancient Tree of Life, deducting 1,200 points and leaving him with 0. The seed of the Ancient Tree of Life appears, pulsating with a rich and powerful aura of life. Main protagonist commands the system to check the talent of his new acquisition. The status screen displays the Ancient Tree of Life, a life and plant-type beast currently at Tier 1 Awakening rank with Tier 3 Holy Spirit potential. He reads the Nurture talent, which allows him to breed familiars with absolute loyalty, and wonders if he can create an entire army. He is stunned by the first skill, plant growth, which can catalyze the growth of any plant in mere seconds. Main protagonist realizes the massive profit potential, as high-rank spirit fruits usually cost tens of millions. He becomes ecstatic, imagining the ease of ripening all kinds of valuable spirit fruits with this god-tier ability. The second skill, Life Domain, is revealed, capable of constructing an area full of life aura that heals all injuries within. The third skill, Ancient Tree Projection, allows the tree to project itself outside its territory with the full strength of the main body. Finally, he examines the fourth skill, Star-Slaying Grass, intrigued by its domineering name. System details that Star-Slaying Grass can sever the sun, moon, and stars given enough time. Main protagonist is overwhelmed by the sheer power of the pet he redeemed for 1,200 points. He marvels at how the beast balances support, damage, and resource supply perfectly. Without hesitation, main protagonist initiates the contract immediately. Energy surges as the connection is established with the seed. The seed begins to sprout, signaling the successful start of the contract. The main protagonist gasps as his chest pulses with a sudden, overwhelming surge of energy. Disbelief washes over him as he realizes he is on the verge of another breakthrough, despite having just reached the Tier 10 Starry Sky rank. A soft, ethereal voice echoes through the air, calling out to him from the shadows of the ancient tree. The atmosphere ignites with raw power as the ethereal blonde female manifests, her presence swirling with brilliant, verdant energy. Bathed in a blinding, natural radiance, the ethereal blonde female floats gracefully, her aura resonating with the very essence of life. The main protagonist stares in awe, wondering if this radiant being is truly the projection of the ancient tree of life. A system prompt confirms the entity as an ancient tree clone, capable of wielding the full power of the original and traversing the beast-taming space at will. With a gesture of reverence, the main protagonist asks if she is indeed the legendary ancient tree of life. Ethereal blonde female beams with a joyful smile, confirming her identity to him. She offers him a name to call her by, introducing herself as Anu. The main protagonist repeats her name, sealing their connection as he acknowledges her identity. Anu gently requests that the main protagonist hold out his finger, preparing to initiate a sacred bond. A shimmering, verdant thread of energy bridges the gap between them, signifying the formation of a special contract. Anu explains that this wisp of aura serves as a life insurance policy, allowing her to resurrect the main protagonist should he ever fall in battle. Stunned by the revelation, the main protagonist asks for clarification, only to be told that his SSS-rank talents would not survive the resurrection process. Anu looks at him with a somber expression, warning that he would return only as an ordinary human. The main protagonist contemplates the cost, deciding that a life without his hard-earned power is not a life worth living. He quickly shifts his perspective, realizing that having this safety net is still a valuable asset for his survival. With a calm demeanor, the main protagonist instructs Anu to focus on mastering her newfound abilities. Anu smiles brightly, eagerly accepting his guidance as her master. The main protagonist prepares to depart, signaling the end of their conversation for now. Anu reaches out, her touch flickering against his pocket as she seeks to finalize their arrangement. She asks for permission to keep her main body within the beast-taming space while her clone remains in the real world. The main protagonist confirms that she is free to move between realms as she pleases, given her unique connection to the space. Anu expresses her relief, noting that she was worried her unique habits might clash with his expectations. The main protagonist pauses, confused by her cryptic comment regarding their differing living habits. Later that night, the main protagonist drifts off to sleep, completely unaware of what is to come. He wakes up to find Anu tucked under his covers, leaving him absolutely stunned. Anu confesses that she had been trapped in the form of a seed for millions of years, overwhelmed by an unbearable sense of loneliness. She pleads with him not to drive her away, promising that she will behave and not move around recklessly. He gently strokes her head, assuring her that she is safe and will never have to be lonely again. Anu beams with happiness, finally feeling a sense of belonging. The morning sun shines brightly over the apartment building, marking the start of a new day. The peaceful morning is short-lived as Anu playfully leaps onto him, causing him to struggle for air. Reaching his breaking point, he finally snaps, unable to handle the sudden morning chaos. He lifts her up by the back of her garment, clearly annoyed by her energetic antics. Anu cries out in surprise, demanding to know what he is doing as she dangles in his grip. She lands on the couch with a thud, breathless from the sudden shift in momentum. He scolds her, reminding her that she promised not to be reckless, nearly suffocating him in the process. Enro apologizes sincerely, explaining that she had hugged him too tightly without realizing it. With a hopeful expression, she begs him not to be mad and promises it won't happen again. He relents, telling her he isn't angry and suggests they head to the space to check on the ancient tree of life. Enro cheers in excitement, clearly thrilled by the prospect of the outing. He scratches his head in bewilderment, wondering if he has truly contracted a powerful beast or is simply raising a daughter. They arrive at the space where glowing plants thrive around the base of the ancient tree of life. He observes that Enro has already cultivated 10 stalks of star-slaying grass to the Tier 10 transcendent rank. He realizes that if the ancient tree of life advances in rank, these powerful grass stalks will evolve alongside it. The star-slaying grass emanates a terrifying combat power, proving that even a companion plant can be lethal. He muses that even legendary entities like the demon dragon and emperor bird would struggle against such might. Dark, glowing vines begin to manifest, rustling with an ominous energy. Vines pulse with purple light, displaying their formidable presence. He identifies them as the Thousand-Star Vine, a plant capable of binding everything in its path. Enro explains that her current realm limits her to nurturing platinum rank seeds, and higher levels would take considerable time. He brushes off the concern, stating he can simply purchase the higher rank seeds directly. He laughs, questioning why they should exhaust their own foundation when money can solve the problem. With the plan set, he invites Enro for a stroll, ready to handle the seed situation while they are out. Main protagonist and pink-haired female walk through the bustling streets of the Magic City, taking in the vibrant atmosphere. Main protagonist observes the incredible variety of goods available in the Magic City, noting the high prices attached to the rare items on display. Pink-haired female stays close to main protagonist, remarking on the overwhelming crowd surrounding them. The duo enters a specialized spirit plant store, greeted by neatly arranged shelves filled with various magical seedlings. Main protagonist notes the massive price disparity between the cheap raw seeds and the expensive, fully cultivated seedlings. Contemplating the low survival rate of these delicate seeds, main protagonist weighs the risks of cultivation. Confident smirk crosses his face as he realizes the ancient tree of life's power renders those survival concerns obsolete. Main protagonist places a substantial order for 1,000 seeds of various potent varieties, including extreme darkgrass and scarlet flame flower. He adds a request for 100 seeds each of the Hell Tree and Purgatory Tree to complete his purchase. The shopkeeper, older man with gray hair and mustache, smiles warmly and asks him to wait a moment while he processes the order. Older man with gray hair and mustache informs him that the total cost is 32.1 million, but he decides to round it down to 32 million. Main protagonist smiles and asks if his status as a tutor from Magic City University grants him a discount. Older man with gray hair and mustache confirms the policy, requesting his ID card to verify the applicable discount quota. Main protagonist hands over his ID card, revealing his credentials to the shopkeeper. Older man with gray hair and mustache inputs the information into his system as main protagonist and pink-haired female watch. System flashes a verification success, granting a massive 50% discount and revealing his status as a full professor. Stunned, older man with gray hair and mustache stares at main protagonist, amazed by his youth and academic rank. Pink-haired female beams with pride, declaring that her master is the most amazing person she knows. Main protagonist holds up his payment card, ready to finalize the transaction. Main protagonist marvels at the efficiency of Principal Duan in arranging these benefits for him so quickly. Pink-haired female suddenly tugs on his sleeve, pointing toward a shelf as she senses a rare amethyst rank spirit plant seed. Main protagonist looks surprised, his interest piqued by her discovery. Pink-haired female leads him toward the shelf, determined to retrieve the rare item she detected. Her face lights up with excitement as she holds the small, withered seeds in her palms. Pink-haired female presents the 5 seeds to older man with gray hair and mustache, asking for their price. Older man with gray hair and mustache looks skeptical, warning her that he had intended to throw those away due to their poor condition. Pink-haired female smiles brightly, confirming her intent to purchase them regardless of their state. Older man with gray hair and mustache explains that while they are the rare deep space fruit tree seeds, they are completely withered. The withered seeds rest in the palm of a hand, appearing to be nothing more than dried up debris. An elderly man with gray hair and a mustache laughs, dismissively offering them for free. A blonde woman beams with joy, thanking him for the unexpected gift. Protagonist can barely contain his excitement, realizing these 5 seeds are high-rank resources obtained for nothing. The pair stands in a lush, magical field as energy begins to pulse around them. The protagonist gestures to the air, declaring it is time to plant every single one of them. Life explodes from the earth as the plants rapidly bloom in a dazzling display. Protagonist explains that with his cultivation skill, the harvest will arrive in no time. He revels in the thought of future profits, knowing he won't have to struggle to nurture his beasts anymore. Suddenly, he pauses, his eyes narrowing as he senses an intruder nearby. He looks toward the entrance, wondering if a customer has finally arrived at his shop. A young man with glasses enters, announcing he has finally awakened a beast-taming talent. The customer mutters to himself, determined to sell his house if he finds a pet beast he truly desires. The protagonist steps forward with a welcoming grin, ready to greet his potential patron. Customer looks at him, blunt and direct, asking if he is the shop owner. The protagonist confirms his identity and politely asks what the customer is looking for today. The customer explains he has awakened a spirit talent and is hunting for a plant-type pet beast. The protagonist smiles, holding up a glowing jar containing a small, vibrant green seedling. The customer stares in disbelief, questioning if that is truly what he was looking for. The seedling glows with soft light resting inside the glass container. Customer's expression shifts to pure irritation as he realizes what he is looking at. He snaps at the protagonist, demanding to know what kind of pet beast this is, insisting it is just an ordinary willow seedling. The protagonist calmly counters, revealing that the seedling has awakened a special blood refinement talent. He gestures excitedly, explaining its ability to refine the blood of different creatures to extract genes for the perfect evolutionary route. Customer crosses his arms, clearly skeptical, claiming he has never even heard of such a talent. The protagonist loses his patience, telling the customer that he doesn't have time to educate him and setting the price at 3 million. The customer explodes in rage, calling the shop a scam and threatening to report him to the association. The customer clenches his fist in frustration, shouting that any threats are completely useless. He storms out of the shop, hurling a final warning that the owner should just wait and see what happens next. Main protagonist watches him go, sighing in disappointment as he holds the seedling. He laments that the customer clearly doesn't know a rare, high-quality item when he sees one. Main protagonist stares at the glowing plant-type seedling, genuinely worried that it might rot away if he doesn't find a buyer soon. The system's sale window is strictly limited to 1 week and the clock is ticking. He carefully tends to the plant, hoping that someone will recognize its value before the deadline expires. Main protagonist picks up a mysterious red vial, his expression thoughtful as he considers his next move. He decides that if he can't sell it, he'll simply have to reach out to Principal Duan or Luo Tianyan for assistance. He applies the liquid to the soil, confident that this small sapling is destined for greatness. The Beast Tamer Association building looms over the city, a place where official complaints are processed. Back at the association, the disgruntled customer slams his hand on the counter, demanding to file a formal report. The receptionist remains calm, professionally asking the customer who exactly he intends to report. The customer fumes with anger, declaring that he is reporting a scam shop for failing to meet association standards and for its terrible service. The receptionist gestures toward the waiting area, instructing him to fill out the necessary paperwork first. Holding the form, the customer grins maliciously, convinced he will successfully put the shop out of business. Receptionist approaches the supervisor's office to deliver the news. She enters the office and addresses the supervisor, presenting the report she just received. She informs the supervisor that a formal, real-name report has been filed against a shop. Luo Yen, the supervisor of the Magic City Beast Tamer Association, takes the paper, skeptical about the target. Luo Yen reads the name on the document and is shocked to see it is the mythical pet beast shop. He recalls that Principal Duan had personally visited the association just yesterday to advocate for that very shop. Supervisor realizes the gravity of the situation, as the principal had praised it as the best shop in the entire city. Furious, Luo Yen slams his hand on the desk, demanding to know which fool is causing trouble for him. Luo Yen enters the waiting room where the customer is sitting, his presence imposing. Luo Yen greets the customer with a cold, formal hello. He asks the customer directly if he is the one who filed the report against the mythical pet beast shop. The customer stands up, aggressively insisting that the association process the report immediately to stop the scam shop. Luo Yen shuts him down, noting that his own investigation reveals the shop's reputation is excellent and even Principal Duan holds it in high regard. The young man freezes in absolute shock, his eyes widening as he lets out a stunned, "What?" Nervously scratching his head, he quickly pivots, stammering that he must have made a mistake and offers to withdraw his report immediately. The authority figure looms over him, pointing a finger as he sternly explains that false accusations carry a 3-day detention, though he is being spared this time. He bows deeply, frantically promising that he will never dare to repeat such an offense. Without wasting another second, he scrambles away, fleeing the scene in a desperate hurry. The older man ponders aloud, noting the shop's high recommendation from Principal Duan and considering a visit since his own son has recently awakened a beast-taming talent. A young woman walks down the street dragging a suitcase behind her, feeling like a failure for being unable to manage her life. Tears well up in her eyes as she laments failing her college entrance exam, her lack of an awakened talent, and her mother seizing the money she worked to earn. The memory flashes back to her mother berating her, questioning how she expects to repay her after all the suffering endured to raise her. Broken and defeated, she can only look on with hollow, tear-filled eyes. Walking toward the university gates, she clings to one last shred of hope before she has to leave. She desperately wants to take one final look around the university before her journey ends. A guard immediately steps in, barking that non-students are strictly prohibited from entering the grounds. Dejected, she sighs, unable to even fulfill this simple, final wish. As she walks past a small table, a mysterious potted plant begins to pulse with a faint energy. She stops in her tracks, startled by a sudden, inexplicable feeling. Turning back to the plant, she wonders why she can suddenly sense an invisible resonance coming from it. Nearby, a man rests in a chair, unaware of the commotion. He complains about scaring away customers for the past 2 days, questioning who would pay 3 million for a simple willow tree seedling. He groans, worried that the plant might rot in his hands, which would be a massive financial loss. With a frustrated sigh, he stands up, still trying to figure out how to sell the plant. He notices her standing by the plant and pauses, his curiosity piqued. She stares at the plant, mesmerized by the glowing energy radiating from its leaves. She whispers to herself, marveling at how rare it is to see a plant-type pet beast. The man approaches and asks if nobody else wants the plant either. Suddenly, the plant rustles and a voice echoes, asking if she can actually understand it. The man smiles warmly, asking if she likes the plant. Pink-haired female hesitates, waving her hands in a defensive gesture as she insists she is merely browsing the shop. Main protagonist steps forward with a confident grin, offering her special permission to touch the mysterious glowing plant. Eyes wide with genuine surprise, the pink-haired female can barely believe the offer. Main protagonist maintains his calm composure, watching as the pink-haired female reaches out toward the seedling. The plant reacts instantly, its leaves pulsing with a vibrant, intense red energy that crackles through the air. A look of realization washes over the pink-haired female as she senses a deep, awakening connection to the plant. The system confirms that the pink-haired female possesses an extraordinary compatibility with the willow tree seedling. Main protagonist observes the shimmering aura surrounding her, his expression thoughtful as he monitors the reaction. Main protagonist leans in, curious if the plant is attempting to communicate a specific message to her. The pink-haired female gasps, revealing that the seedling seems to be expressing a desire to merge with her. Main protagonist smiles, satisfied that his initial assessment was correct regarding her potential as a master. Pink-haired female stands frozen, watching the red energy swirl around the plant in anticipation. Main protagonist gestures casually, suggesting she try feeding the seedling a single drop of her blood to test the bond. The pink-haired female panics, worried that her blood might contaminate the specimen and ruin its value. Main protagonist chuckles, asserting his authority as the shop boss and encouraging her to take the risk. Reluctantly, the pink-haired female agrees, her expression shifting from worry to cautious determination. With a steady hand, she pricks her finger, preparing to offer the drop of blood. A single crimson droplet falls from her fingertip, descending toward the glowing plant. The seedling hungrily absorbs the blood, its green leaves beginning to shift and expand rapidly. The pink-haired female exclaims in shock as the plant visibly grows in size right before her eyes. Main protagonist points out her incredible affinity, once again urging her to finalize the purchase. Pink-haired female admits she lacks the funds and, more importantly, the beast-taming talent required for a contract. A shadow of doubt crosses her face as she laments her lack of awakening in the beast-taming arts. Main protagonist dismisses the money issue and questions her certainty about her lack of latent talent. The pink-haired female looks up, startled by his implication that she might be wrong about herself. The plant suddenly reacts violently to the remaining blood, glowing with an overwhelming intensity. The pink-haired female stares in confusion, wondering what is happening to the seedling. A powerful red aura erupts from the plant, enveloping the pink-haired female in a surge of energy. The pink-haired female gasps in disbelief, realizing she has awakened an S-rank beast-taming talent, Undying True Blood. The girl gasps in disbelief, realizing she has awakened a talent. He smiles warmly, asking, "You've already awakened your talent, haven't you?" He gestures toward the seedling, explaining that its recognition was the key to refining her bloodline. Overwhelmed, she admits this is the first time she has ever been truly recognized or expected to succeed. Regaining her composure, she eagerly asks him to let her contract the unique seedling. She holds out her meager savings, whispering that it is all she has to offer. He waves off her concern, insisting money is no issue and offering to cover the $3 million required for the price. She stares in shock, panicking over how she could possibly repay a debt of $3 million. He offers a practical solution. She can work in his shop as an assistant to pay off the balance. Radiating excitement, she vows to work hard and follow every instruction. He officially welcomes her as the newest employee of his pet beast shop. A notification chimes. The achievement of hiring the first employee is complete, granting a random reward. He accepts the reward, eager to see what he has received. The system reveals the prize, True Dragon Origin Blood, an item capable of transforming any pet beast into a true dragon. He is stunned, noting that such a legendary item has never appeared on the open market. Legends tell of a guardian divine dragon using this blood to ascend, securing the nation's status. He reflects on the potential. If a powerful dragon were to consume it, it would reach an unimaginable realm of power. She asks for her first set of instructions now that she is on the clock. He tells her to buy groceries, explaining that she will be living and eating in the shop while earning commissions. She heads out, humming a tune as she begins her first errand. A spectral figure manifests, greeting him with a respectful "Master." She offers him a cup of tea made from the 1,000-star vine, urging him to taste it. The tea pours magically into the cup as he reaches out to accept the offering. He takes a sip, savoring the warmth and the quality of the brew. He praises the spiritual energy within the leaves, declaring that other teas pale in comparison. The girl returns to the shop, announcing her arrival with bags full of groceries. He thanks her for the hard work and directs her to store the items in the back. She pauses, curious about the presence of the ethereal woman. He introduces her as Enro, one of his pet beasts, and tells the girl to call her big sister Enro. He reminds her that despite her small stature, Enro is a 1,000-year-old ancient tree, so addressing her as big sister is only fitting. The girl gasps in genuine delight, marveling at the sight of such a cute humanoid pet beast. He clears his throat, announcing his upcoming teaching position at the Magic City Beast Taming University and entrusting the shop to his two companions. She is visibly stunned by the news, unable to fathom how someone so young could already be a tutor at such a prestigious institution. With a confident fist pump, she vows to manage the shop perfectly in his absence. Back in his room, he admits he is feeling nervous about his new role and decides to check his system for some necessary preparations. He scans the system interface, weighing his options between the Elf Mother Tree Memory Inheritance, the Saint-Level Beast Tamer Inheritance, and the 7-Star Breeder Inheritance. Shocked by the accessibility of the 7-Star Breeder Inheritance for only 300 points, he immediately confirms the purchase. His finger hovers over the interface, finalizing the exchange to secure the powerful knowledge. The system confirms the deduction of 300 points, leaving his balance at 0 as the implantation process begins. A surge of energy erupts from the system crystal, flooding into him as the implantation officially commences. Green mystical runes swirl around his body, signaling the successful integration of the ancient knowledge. Images of a past civilization flash through his mind, revealing that this inheritance originated from a legendary breeder of that bygone era. He observes memories of those ancient academies, which were dedicated solely to the cultivation of extraordinary talents. The vision shifts to a laboratory setting, where researchers question the true nature of the mysterious God creation project. They gather around a containment chamber, sensing the immense and terrifying energy radiating from the darkness within. The monitor flashes a critical notification. The God creation project has officially reached success. Within the dark abyss of the chamber, a pair of malevolent red eyes snap open, revealing the presence of a demon god. The containment shatters in a violent explosion, unleashing a wave of catastrophic power. The facility is engulfed in flames and debris as the ancient terror breaks free from its prison. He wakes up, reeling from the vision, wondering if that creature is the true progenitor of the current demon realm. He lies back, breathless, contemplating the sheer invincibility of the power he just witnessed. With a tired smile, he acknowledges that he still has a long way to go before reaching such heights. Next day, the shop stands ready for another busy session. He waves goodbye to the girl, leaving the shop under her watchful care. Stepping onto the street, he calls out for his demon dragon to emerge. A massive, flaming dragon descends, its wings casting a shadow over the entire area. The girl watches in awe, completely stunned by the sheer power of the beast summoned by the shop manager. Sun shines brightly over the sprawling university campus, casting long shadows across the athletic field. Students buzz in the hallway, shocked by the rumor that an 18-year-old professor has just joined the faculty. Whispers continue to spread, with students claiming this mysterious new tutor is a relative of the principal. A skeptical student scoffs at the news, convinced the young tutor is only here to slack off. A student questions his peer, dismissively labeling the new arrival as a product of nepotism. A female student counters the gossip, praising the tutor as an outstanding and powerful figure among the younger generation. Intrigued by her confidence, the student decides to attend the open class to see for himself. The female student warns him to be careful with his choice of words to avoid any misunderstandings. The student is left reeling, wondering what kind of person could have left such an impression on her. The news of the new tutor spreads like wildfire across the entire campus. Students gather in the dorms, debating the true strength of the 18-year-old newcomer. One student remains unimpressed, claiming he has no interest in the capabilities of ordinary people. His peer boasts about his own accomplishments, reminding him of his elite status. The peer questions why someone of such peerless talent would bother attending a mere tutor's open class. The protagonist simply dismisses the conversation with a cold, clipped question. Sensing the tension, the peer quickly decides to make his exit. Alone again, the protagonist focuses intently on the ancient tome in his hands. He traces the text, frustrated by his inability to channel the dragon language magic sealed within the pages. Students begin to fill the grand lecture hall, preparing for the highly anticipated open lesson. The crowd marvels at the venue, noting that this hall is usually reserved only for senior professors. Even the most elite students have arrived, adding to the buzz of excitement. The arrival of the young master from the Luo family draws immediate attention. The principal's grandson also makes an appearance, further increasing the prestige of the event. The students spot a senior who is highly ranked among the junior year students. One student audaciously claims that even such a skilled senior would only be qualified to teach after graduation. A student recognizes the girl who mocked her earlier, realizing she is also from the university. Her companion notices her irritation and offers to walk her back to the dorms. She snaps back, making it clear that she is focused on her own business. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifts as everyone realizes the tutor has finally arrived. The classroom doors slide open, and main protagonist steps into the room, his presence immediately commanding the attention of every student. A student gasps, her face flushing bright red as she whispers to herself, marveling at how surprisingly handsome he looks. Blonde female with black top stares in pure disbelief, her eyes widening as she realizes the new lecturer is none other than main protagonist. Main protagonist offers a polite, apologetic smile, explaining he was delayed by traffic before introducing himself as the instructor for the pet beast cultivation course. With a welcoming tone, main protagonist invites any interested students to enroll in his elective course. A student immediately raises his hand, eagerly shouting that he wants to sign up for the class. Excitement ripples through the room as others, including dark-haired female with ponytail and pink-haired female, enthusiastically volunteer to join. Even more students raise their hands, clamoring for a spot in the highly anticipated lecture. Main protagonist calmly sets a limit of 5 spots, noting his own lack of teaching experience and suggesting others wait for future expansions. A woman with a composed expression raises her hand, politely asking if she might be allowed to audit the course. The room erupts in shock, with students whispering that Teacher Lu, a renowned disciple of the principal, is famously aloof and would never usually do this. Main protagonist graciously accepts the request, telling Teacher Lu she is welcome to attend whenever she likes. Teacher Lu smiles warmly, expressing her genuine gratitude to main protagonist. Suddenly, a male student stands up, furious, and accuses main protagonist of being a nepotism hire who shouldn't be teaching at such a prestigious university. Main protagonist remains unfazed, calmly asking the student if he truly believes he obtained his position through connections. The student scoffs, claiming main protagonist is weaker than even the top incoming freshman, Lu Su. Main protagonist dismisses the comparison, stating that Lu Su is not even worthy of being mentioned in his presence and criticizing the student's superficial focus on rank. The student, growing more agitated, challenges main protagonist to prove his abilities if he has any. With a calm gesture, main protagonist signals that he is ready to demonstrate his power. A wisp of intense purple flame ignites in his palm, crackling with raw, supernatural energy. Main protagonist offers a challenge. If the student can block this flame for 3 seconds, he will resign immediately. Brown-haired male with yellow hoodie watches in disbelief, questioning if main protagonist really intends to suppress him with just a small flame. Main protagonist looks on with a confident smirk, mocking the student's doubt regarding the power of a Tier 10 beast's flame. Student gasps, recognizing the terrifying aura of the legendary supreme exotic fire. Refusing to back down, the student scoffs at the perceived nonsense and prepares to retaliate. Main protagonist stands ready, inviting the student to make his move and test his strength. The student summons a glowing golden sword, the metal shimmering with immense defensive power. Suddenly, the student transforms, encased in golden armor with massive wings erupting from his back. Main protagonist observes the transformation, noting with interest that the student has contracted 3 distinct types of metallic lifeforms. The student declares he will shatter main protagonist's trick, his golden form blazing with defiant energy. Main protagonist smiles, his eyes calm as he mocks his opponent's misguided sense of justice. Sharp, cold glare meets the air as main protagonist delivers a biting insult regarding the student's intellect. The student lunges forward with wings of golden energy, his blade drawn in a desperate, arrogant strike against main protagonist. Purple flames erupt, shattering the student's blade upon contact with a sound of brittle metal snapping. Shock washes over the student's face as he realizes his golden form is no match for the overwhelming power before him. The blade disintegrates completely, consumed by the relentless, encroaching purple flames. The student cries out in agony as the force of the impact sends him spiraling through the air. Crashing to the ground, the student kneels in defeat, his golden aura flickering and fading into nothingness. Main protagonist holds a swirling orb of purple flame, warning the student that the lesson has only just begun. The student recoils in terror, watching as the purple flame looms over him, threatening to consume everything. Terror widens the student's eyes, reflecting the purple flame burning deep within his pupils. Overwhelmed by the heat, the student begs for mercy, his golden energy completely suppressed by the purple inferno. The student curls into a ball, his spirit broken as he admits his failure to the overwhelming pressure. Main protagonist dismisses the flames with a flick of his hand, reminding the student of their positions. With a cold smile, main protagonist watches the remnants of his power vanish into thin air. The student collapses, his body trembling from the physical and mental strain of the encounter. A final groan escapes the student's lips as he struggles to maintain consciousness. The student lies motionless on the floor, defeated and utterly exhausted. Main protagonist stands tall, unimpressed by the student's lack of durability. The surrounding students whisper in shock, doubting anyone could survive such a display of power. Ethereal blonde female appears, offering to heal the fallen student, her glowing form casting a soft light. Main protagonist declines the offer, insisting that the class must continue without interruption. Main protagonist calmly instructs the teacher to move the student to the infirmary so they can proceed with the lesson. The teacher glares back, clearly annoyed at being treated like an errand boy by main protagonist. Main protagonist gestures to the rest of the class, daring anyone else to challenge his authority. A heavy silence fills the lecture hall as the students collectively hold their breath. Satisfied with the quiet, main protagonist prepares to begin the lecture properly. Student raises her hand, questioning why someone as powerful as main protagonist would choose to teach such a mundane subject. Main protagonist explains that breeding is the fundamental core of all strength, even in combat. The students whisper amongst themselves, their skepticism toward the shop manager quickly dissolving into a flutter of newfound admiration. Main protagonist stands before the class, ready to prove that his unconventional methods are the key to unlocking hidden potential. He gestures to the room, inviting 2 students to step forward and witness the reality of pet beast breeding firsthand. Hands shoot up across the room. The students are eager to test their luck and see if they can replicate his success. Main protagonist calls out the names, selecting his subjects for the demonstration. Chosen students beam with excitement, thrilled to be part of the experiment. A skeptic interjects, warning that their current pets have already hit their absolute evolutionary ceiling. Brown-haired male with yellow hoodie pipes up, eager to see if his own pet can be pushed past its limits. Main protagonist keeps his cool, commanding the room to settle down as he prepares to shatter their misconceptions. He challenges their certainty, asking if they truly believe their pets have no room left to grow. The doubter stands firm, citing the established rules of the beast-taming world. Main protagonist smiles, dismissing the conventional wisdom as a cognitive barrier that holds them back. The room falls silent as an authoritative figure enters, clearly impressed by his bold claim. Principal Duan expresses his genuine curiosity about this concept of breaking the limit. The students are stunned, whispering in disbelief that the principal has arrived to watch this lecture. Principal Duan points to the case, questioning how such low-rank materials could possibly achieve a breakthrough. The students exchange nervous glances, wondering if main protagonist has finally bitten off more than he can chew. Main protagonist holds up a basic resource, acknowledging its low rank but hinting at its hidden utility. He claims these are the most compatible resources despite their common status. He begins to organize the stones, selecting specific pieces with practiced precision. He instructs the students to integrate the materials, waiting to see if they can follow his lead. The students channel their energy, the air crackling as the resources begin to resonate with their pets. Energy surges forward, triggering an unexpected and rapid evolution process. The observer gasps, realizing that the impossible has just happened right before her eyes.